How did we miss Sheriff Nanos saying this?
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's the twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world.
I think it was
You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me I've been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
let's go.
Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
That's amazing, lovies.
Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in thy world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is March 28th, 2026. It is currently 7:27 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Hello, beautiful pearls. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. We are talking about the Guthrie case and going over some stuff today with one of my mods. And we were talking about something, and I don't know how we missed this. I've not heard anybody speak about this, what we're going to be speaking about. And we're going to get there, I promise. So, but before we get started, you know what I'm going to ask, what we all ask, all of us YouTubers, if you would please be so kind and please hit that thumbs up button or double tapping the screen if you're on the mobile there. Also, if you would consider sharing out this live, hit the share button, copy that link, drop it in any of your favorite social media platforms. Also, if you would consider hyping this video after the live stream, you get 3 a week. If you don't use it, you lose it. They're absolutely free. And all 3 of those things are just amazing free ways you can help this channel. So it's good to see everyone in chat. I'm going to say hello to a few of you real quick. Someone just said they text me. Yes. We make sure you guys, mods, if you would be so kind to remind me to sing happy birthday to Mini Panthers son. I'm going to make sure I sing happy birthday at the end of the live, if you would be so kind. I just got a text, so make sure you guys, Mini Panthers is our mod. She's usually in the bushes though, but she's always watching. And so if y'all would say hello to Mini Panther son's birthday. Hey Ginger, good to see you, my friend. 2012. Regarding the poll, if Kelly ordered Nanos to wreck the crime scene evidence, then Nanos gets an A++. What do you mean by that? Pam, good to see you. Michelle, Ginger again. Michelle, peace of all. Good to see you, love. Robin, Connie, Miss Kelly, War Damn Eagle, how you doing? Susan, hello, darling. Summer's Army, bonjour, darling. Bo, hello. Lovies, good to see you, my friend. Deanna, hello. Allegedly, hello, darling. Not Lob, hello. Andrea, Bo, Miss Connie, Trishy818, Lori, his name is Marshall. You can, what is it? Marshall is Mini Panthers. Their son's name. Michelle, Susan, Lisa, Mary Beth, Cassie, good to see you. Kim, Leslie, always keeping it real. Summer's Army, 17 months. OG, Whistler, thank you so much. Hello, my beautiful friend. I made it. Thanks. Love you, darling. Appreciate your support. Really do appreciate that, my dear. Good to see you. Hopefully, you're well. Good to hear from you, my dear. And Miss Sharon, 22 months, legendary status. You guys are truly the best. Just the absolute best. I've got the best people here. Everyone that always comes in chat, they're like, this is the best chat. I'm like, yeah, it really is. Not just saying that, but it really is. Everyone's just amazing, kind, gets along, all that stuff, all that jazz. So yeah, hey Casey, good to see you, friend. Yep. Oh, thank you, Lori. Hey, baby, good to see you. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Good to see you, love. Yeah. Yeah, Peggy. Jason, hi, Jason. Good to see you. Michelle. Yeah, it is. Hey, Holly. That's right, War. That's right. We keep it right on target here. Okay, so we're going to start out with something probably every one of you've seen. I know I've seen it. Um, but it's important because of something the sheriff said. And it makes me really wonder about some of the things he said. And even I want to be the first to say I have no idea, absolutely no clue what happened to Miss Guthrie. Have no idea. No clue. However, the sheriff himself has said that the family is clear. He's also been very wishy washy on all of his statements for that matter. But I just cannot, in my mind, can't clear anybody at this point. Now, some people have absolutely, like the family, there's just no way or no how, anything like that. I'll be the first to say I don't think Savannah, God bless her, or Cameron, obviously, they were on the other side of the country. I don't think they have any reason at all either. But there's been some really confusing things around this timeline. And I'll be the first to say as well that I don't believe this is Tommaso, that's for sure, at all. But we'll get to all of that in just a minute. Guys, please hit that thumbs up as you're rolling in. Nikki, good to see you, darling. Appreciate you. Call in question mark. I might be able to do some calls in a little bit. I think I got my ringer off right now. But I can text you in a little bit if you want to call in. Good to see you, my dear. I think I found your channel, by the way. Love you, darling. Thank you so much. Lady, how you doing? Woohoo! Almost 2 years with the best channel on YouTube. Speaking of, thank you so much, Lolo. 23 months. You are legendary. Really do appreciate you. Yes, I feel something is just not right. And so after I was speaking with one of the mods today, she had texted me and we were discussing this. I then turned on Deception Detective, our friend Deception Detective's channel, and it was just like, okay, now I'm not in the, we're not, there's more of us in this boat that has questions, The last thing you want to think is that someone Miss Guthrie knows could be involved, but statistically, that is what it is. Statistically, you're 96% more likely to be unalived or a crime happened to you by someone you know. Family, friends, acquaintances, coworkers, neighbors, someone like that. So, but there's a lot in this case that just goes literally every different direction. Is it connected in one way or another? I don't know. And I usually have a big opinion on things, but this one I really don't. We are going to go to KVOA. Sheriff Nanos, Pima County Sheriff Nanos, Chris Nanos held a news conference regarding the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. The FBI special agent in charge was there They talked about a possible ransom and $50,000 reward for information regarding to the investigation. Now it's up to like 1.2 million with everything, all the rewards. This was, when was this? February 5th. February 5th, 2026. We're now in March 28th. Okay. Few days after she went missing. Okay. Because there's something here. Form your own opinion, do your own research. Obviously, I want to see what you think because he says something that nobody seemed to notice. Chemistry queen. Thank you, baby. Good to see you. Appreciate you. Thank you for still covering, Nancy. Thank you so much, Chemistry Queen. So good to see you, my friend. Really do appreciate you. Thank you so very much for your support. I truly do appreciate you. All right, here we go. It's going to be a couple minutes into this, but so you can remember what it is here. Thank you, Miss Trishy.
Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there.
Oh, it's low.
We want her home. Our department, the sheriff's department, along with all of our partners at the FBI, have been working around the clock. And we just want her home and find a way to get to the bottom of all of this, just as you do. But I have other partners out there who have stepped up, and you've probably noticed them in the last few days, if not the last few hours, and you're going to see more of that. Well, I made a decision to contact our PCRIT team, and those of you not local, that's our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. It's made up of law enforcement officers.
Is it low for you guys on that end? I'm trying to see if I can find another one. Let me know if it's low for you guys on that end. It wasn't earlier for me. I don't know why, but I'm trying to see here. Is it low? Yeah. Okay. I'm looking. Give me a second.
This entire valley, Pasquayaki Police Department, Tucson Police Department, Marana Police Department, Oro Valley Police Department, Pima College Police Department, Tucson International Police Department, Sarita Police Department. There's so many of them, and they are going to help us tremendously. And that's really done because we have so much in front of us still, and we're hoping that, you know, I know the FBI has committed a very large number of men and women to partner with us, work side by side with us. We go do an interview, they're going to be there with us. We're going to go look at some evidence or process evidence, they're going to be right there with us. We're sharing every piece of information, all the data we can to get this thing solved. And it's important that my partners in law enforcement know and understand their roles, because it is very large, complex investigation with a lot of moving parts. And we're at that phase now where sometimes we're waiting, right? We're waiting for analysis. We're waiting for lab reports. But even then, when they come back quickly, for example, some DNA, we rushed what we thought was the best target for DNA. We did a rush through and got some of that back. The results were minimal. I think you all know
Okay, I got it.
Blood on the porch. That was one we did. It came.
I can't stand it when it's low like that. I apologize. Let me pop this one up so it sounds a lot better. Okay. It's just a couple minutes into this. This is USA Today. We're going to drop their link right there. Okay.
Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there. We want her home. Our department, the sheriff's department, along with all of our partners at the FBI, have been working around the clock. And we just want her home and find a way to get to the bottom of all of this, just as you do. But I have other partners out there who have stepped up, and you've probably noticed them in the last few days, if not the last few hours, and you're going to see more of that. I made a decision to contact our PCRIT team, and those of you not local, that's our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. It's made up of law enforcement officers from this entire valley. Pascua Yaqui Police Department, Tucson Police Department, Marana Police Department, Oro Valley Police Department, Pima College Police Department, Tucson International Police Department, Sarita Police Department. There's so many of them, and they are going to help us tremendously. And that's really done because we have so much in front of us still, and we're hoping that, you know, I know the FBI has committed a very large number of men and women to partner with
Getting
us, work
close.
side by side with us. We go do an interview, they're going to be there with us. We're going to go look at some evidence or process evidence, they're going to be right there with us. We're sharing every piece of information, all the data we can to get this thing solved. And it's important that my partners in law enforcement know and understand their roles, because
Okay, get with it.
we're
You know, it's very interesting. I just want to say something. It is very interesting how Nanos he keeps talking about his partners in the beginning about all of this whenever he like goes over and over and over about his partners in the FBI and all of that. When he was for the first 3 weeks allegedly not sharing shit with the FBI. And that is a little cunning, if you ask me. A little cunning, a little dirty.
we're waiting, right? We're waiting for analysis. We're waiting for lab reports. But even then, when they come back quickly, for example, some DNA, we rushed what we thought was the best target for DNA. We did a rush through and got some of that back. The results were minimal. I think you all know the blood on the porch. That was one we did. It came back to Nancy. That's what we know. But there's still more items that have been submitted. We just haven't got them back yet. But in the meantime, we're not just sitting on our haunches waiting. We do have a number of leads coming in, and that's why we brought in the FBI for one, but PCRIT as well, to be able to get out there. But it really is about getting our partners out there, different partners. Suspects. I know there's been a lot out there about suspects, and I want to be very clear.
Jesus
At this
God.
time, we have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case. We are working our best to do that. But to be clear, we have nobody of interest or any suspects that you would consider a prime suspect. We're just not there. We're not there yet. The timeline, I think we've got it on the board, do we not? This is a timeline that we have been able to develop with some of the things that we've had processed, various pieces of electronics that we've gathered. And you look at some of this, and I know you're going to say, well, why did it take you so long to get this to us, Sheriff? Well, because one thing, it's got to go out and be processed at different lab
Guys,
sites.
y'all were going to kick my ass. I am so sorry. So sorry. Here we go. Maybe that was the right one, but I know this one is for sure. All right, I'm going to play it just right where it starts, and it's going to be right there. Just give it 30 seconds.
Electronics that we've gathered.
All right, listen to this.
Let's
Okay.
quickly have some questions.
This was the 5th.
Questions about what you've seen in the last couple of days. I'll gladly answer those at that time. But it really is about getting our partners out there. To be fair, when we went to that scene the first night, Saturday night,
you hear that? Did anyone hear that? When we went to the scene the first night, Saturday night. How did that happen? It was Sunday morning, afternoon. Come again? Now, Savannah kind of talks about some interesting things too. Maybe they're both saying it wrong. I don't know. I don't know. But you have to think about this timeline because it was Saturday. Nancy got home 9:30, 9:45, went to bed. Then it's Sunday, right? They don't get to the house till close to like 10 or 11 o'clock. I can't remember the exact timeline. I can pull it up here in just a second. And then the first interview he does outside is like Monday or Tuesday. Monday. This is the second time he said Saturday night. Well, and then I want to let you listen to what Savannah says. Again, I don't think Savannah has anything. I'm not saying anybody has anything to do with it, but there's some weird going on here. Some weird stuff. Oh, thank you, Joanne. Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate you. Justin, you look so hard and crazy. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you. Very, very kind of you, my love. Really do appreciate you, and thank you for your support and those kind words. Really do appreciate that. May be the only truth he said told. Some guy who called him first. Who was that guy? Just let me just back up a little bit and then listen to what he says. And because he continues a little bit more here. Let's go back just a little bit.
Every one of them. And so we're gearing up. You probably have some questions about what you've seen in the last couple of days. I'll gladly answer those at that time. But it really is about getting our partners out there. To be fair, when we went to that scene the first night, Saturday night, it was just
when we went to that scene the first night, Saturday night, listen.
Just us. Since then, the FBI and others have asked, can we go and see it as well? And that's what you've been seeing. But it is a very important case to not just me and my team, but this entire community, all of our law enforcement partners.
The public report says Saturday too? Really? I'm going to play the way, because Savannah said something in her interview too. That was just, I'm like, why is everyone talking about like Saturday? It's kind of weird. Because all the timeline's just a little wonky, you know what I mean? PGH, how you doing, girl? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. 9 months. Legendary. You made a baby together. A boy or a girl? You tell me. Hi, late, but I made it. Love you, Justin Mods, beautiful pearls. Love you too, Miss PGH. Thank you so much for your support, my love. Good to see you. I thought it was early Sunday morning. Yeah. And then there's some more things that we were covering last night that I've also thought about since then that still makes it very odd. There's some odd things here.
Suspects. I know there's been a lot out there about suspects, and I want to be very clear. At this time, we have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case. We are working our best to do that. But to be clear, we have nobody of interest or any suspects that you would consider a prime suspect. We're just not there. We're not there yet. The timeline, I think we've got it on the board, do we not? This is a timeline that we have been able to develop with some of the things that we've had processed. Various pieces of electronics that we've gathered.
I don't know, catch up.
And you look at some of this, and I know you're going to say, well, why did it take you so long to get this to us, Sheriff? Well, because one thing, it's got to go out and be.
And see, you see what he says here? Well, why did it take so long? Because everyone was asking for days, a timeline here, right? everyone's like, where's this timeline? And he just said, I know y'all have been asking me for. Listen to what he just said.
Working our best to do that. But to be clear, we have nobody of interest or any suspects
Listen to what he
that you
says
would
about this
consider a
timeline.
prime suspect. We're just not there. We're not there yet.
I know. Right here.
The timeline, I think we've got it on the board, do we not? This is a timeline that we have been able to develop with some of the things that we've had processed. Various pieces of electronics that we've gathered.
Right here.
And you look at some of this, and I know you're going to say, well, why did it take you so long to get this to us, Sheriff?
Exactly. Why did it take so long for you to get this timeline to us? And you're saying Saturday, and other people are saying Saturday as well.
Well, because one thing, it's got to go out and be processed at different lab sites. And sometimes that
doesn't even make any sense. What has to go out? I mean, I understand you got to send tests in and all that. I get it totally. But what does the timeline have to do? Like, the doorbell, all of this,
stuff comes back to us, and like you, we have questions, and we say, wait a minute, what is this about? What about this? Could it be that? And so it's sent back, or it's sent somewhere else. So, and that's happening with all of the things we see, that process, that review, and that questioning of, all right, what is it we're looking at? So I'll go over it with you. You can see it on the board there, but at about 5:32 p.m., these are approximate times. 5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family, and just visiting. At 9:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home. And we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m.
9:48. Deb, thank you so much, babe. Appreciate you. I love you, Pearls, so much. Love you, Dustin. Love you too, Miss Deb. Appreciate you. Thank you so very much for your support, my love. Good to see you. Almost sounded like he had to like check in with someone else. Like, I understand you might have to get some data back on what something, time something disconnected, but it doesn't take long to do something like that. It takes hardly any time.
At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes, which is that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So it detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video.
Weird.
But we're not giving up on that.
Deception Detective did a really good video today. I think it was today. It might have been yesterday. I watched it. But I don't know. It was very, one thing that's just very concerning to me is the one day, I say this every single live, that he said nobody is cleared, not even the family. The next day he rolls out and says, family is cleared. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Excuse me, Mother Chicken, you was the one in their home searching over and over with flashlights and Agent Blue and all of that, taking card tables out and evidence bags and checking cameras, talking to neighbors, taking their car longer than anybody. You know what I mean?
28. Nancy's pacemaker app
I do
shows that
too.
it was a disconnect
I do
from
too,
the
Lovey's
phone.
house. I do too. I can't help it. I believe that.
And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy and discovers her missing. And at
Exactly,
12:03
Amber.
p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, our patrol teams arrive. They see the scene, and we start our response with our search and rescue.
Okay. Don't forget about, I need to talk about 10 minutes. 10 minutes, because that was going to be the title of my live stream today, but I changed it. Um, so, you know how, like, obviously someone called Annie and Tommaso and said, "Hey, your mom didn't show up. Like, that's really weird. Can't get a hold of her." All of that, right? Like, that's a normal, like when you can't get a hold of someone, you'll call someone else. Just like the lady did, her friend, we'll just call her the church friend, called Annie and said, "Hey, your mom didn't show up. That's really weird. Is everything okay?" And then I'm sure Annie and them maybe called Nancy. If they didn't call Nancy, that would be a really weird thing, if you ask me. But let's think about another thing. While Nancy, sorry, not Nancy, while Annie and Tommaso were driving over there, it's about an 8 or 10 minute drive. We don't hear anything about Annie calling Savannah or Cameron or anyone else. Why? Because I don't know if you're going to, like, before I would go over there, right? Like, even if the friend called me, I would go call my sister and say, "Hey, have you talked to mom?" Or my brother, "Hi, have you talked to mom?" Right? Uh, when's the last time you talked to mom? But we don't hear that from them. The next thing we hear is that they got there, they called 911, and then Annie is talking to Savannah. Savannah said, "If you check the hospitals and all of this?" No. Yeah, we checked all the hospitals. There's like, I think 9 or 10 in the metropolitan area of Tucson. I would call my brother ASAP. Mhm. I mean, it would be, 10 minutes in a like, if you think something could be going on, usually double check with everyone first. Usually you're like, "Let me call my sister or my brother, maybe even a neighbor, and say, is mom over there? Mom over there?" I would be calling my that's what we do. I mean, that's what the church friend did, right? She called a family person because Nancy didn't show up there, and that's what you do if you're concerned. You make sure if nobody else has heard from them. Just a normal thing. Jan, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate your support. Very kind of you. Thank you so much, and thank you for being a member here on the Turtle Kingdom. Really do appreciate your support, my friend. Good to see you. It does, Jenny. It does. There's just a lot of weird things. Um, 1 second here. Give me a second. Okay. I need to play something.
Teams and our detectives from homicide and various units. In fact, every unit here, I think somebody questioned, how come there's an ICAC member out here or this member? Everybody in our criminal investigations team is a part of this team and part of this investigative effort.
Okay.
With that,
This is the other point I was going to make. I mean, put a 1 in the chat. Well, let me do it. Let's just do a poll. Do you think family had access to indoor cameras for Nancy's safety? Yes? No? Unsure. Okay. I want to see this before I point this out. Do you put a 1 in chat if yes, it'll automatically go on this poll. Do you think the family had access to the indoor camera for Nancy's safety? I do. I personally do. I don't see why would Nancy have cameras on herself? She's 84 years old. And I'll tell you another reason why I think that. Because Savannah, in her interview, said Nancy, that Nancy wasn't getting along too well. I'm paraphrasing here. And she said, she still wanted her independence and all of that. So, that's why, family looked after her and all of that, right? So I think, in my opinion, and it's not uncommon, it's a good thing to have cameras for your aging loved one in case they fall, they break it, God forbid, break a hip, but it's very common at that age. But this is the other thing. I just don't see Nancy, in my opinion, the type that's getting on her phone to look inside of her house. She's 84 years old. She's just not of that generation generally. Not that 84-year-olds can't. They usually just don't care. Right? There are. Yes. So, what about this? If if you're concerned, and you say, your friend calls and says, we not, your mom didn't come over. Mom didn't come over. Have you heard from her? Can you check on her or whatever? And did you would have thought, and maybe they did, I don't know, that family members would have, if Nancy would have left or been taken out in an ambulance like they was thinking in the beginning, you would think that there would have been an alert or something on the camera. But more than anything, regardless, you can view those cameras live. Subscription or not, you can view those cameras live. And I would have checked on those cameras as well before I went over there. Right? before I went over there, just to see if mom was up in the house, walking around, maybe, or, God forbid, fell or something like that. So there's that. Because there was PK. Because there was the cameras. Yeah.
Let me make sure. Now, I want to clarify some things that I may have already done, but yeah, I've gone over with the blood at the front door.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I don't know about phone calls, but I know, like, with most of the cameras, there's audio and video, right? Like, it has like a speaker, you can talk through it through the app. And also the persons in the room can hear you, but you can have like a kind of a two-way conversation.
Doorbell camera, it was removed. We know that, but we're not confirming that any cameras were smashed or destroyed around the house. I don't know where that came from, but that's something we're not confirming. The car, the car that was at the home, it's just standard investigative practices. It's part of the search warrant scene, court orders. We pull it out of there and do our scene processing with the vehicle. Uber, we did speak to a driver because Nancy, we learned, had been taken the Uber to the family residence, the daughter, for dinner. And we located that driver and spoke with them and got that information. The house, you guys got this, I think, conducting follow-up. I think you said somebody had mentioned that they saw a team out there again last night or yesterday, and that's just, again, what I was talking about before. Our partners.
Question, even if you don't have a subscription, right? Even if you don't have a subscription to like your Ring doorbell camera or whatever, when there's motion, it will still have a log, right? Mods, can y'all drop my email address, please? Appreciate you. It'll still have a log that there was motion detected, right? About what time? You can turn it off. I know. Yeah, it's not. I'm not talking about like. Yeah, you can get a notification, but I'm just talking about there's a log that you can look on when there was activity, right? Regardless of whether you have a subscription or not, I would be looking at that as well. When was the last time, mom was in front of a camera? When was the last time there was motion in the house, right? As well. This is the thing, Don. Most people don't have a subscription. Most people don't have a subscription. Right. It's not about having a subscription. I mean, it would make it easier, hell, yeah. But it's not about the subscription, it's about the log. There's still things you can do, you can check on. Hamitu, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate you very, very much. Good to see you. Thank you. Okay, now I want to show you. Let me play this 1 second. I got to pull something.
Wanted a chance to see it.
And
examine things themselves, and more importantly, it's just we're constantly following up on things and go, hey, what about this? So we want to go back and check on some things. Here's the other thing. Someone had mentioned there was forced entry. I have no clue where that comes from. We have been very consistent. We are not discussing that at all. Whether it's forced entry or not forced entry, that is something we're just not discussing. So I don't know where anybody got that information. think I am about done with my piece of this. I'm going to bring up here Heath Yankee, and I think you know him if you haven't been here. John Edwards is the assistant agent in charge with the FBI here at the Tucson office. Heath Yankee is the special agent in charge for the state of Arizona out of Phoenix, and he will come up and speak.
Thank you, Sheriff. Hello, I'm Heath Yankee, the special agent in charge of the FBI's Phoenix Division. First, I want to let the Guthrie family know that our hearts are heavy for them. After seeing your message last night, it is clear that you and your family are in pain. Please know that we are doing everything to bring your mother home. The FBI is now working this case jointly with the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and we're going to start today by announcing a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie.
Okay. I want to play something that Savannah says here. And again, I 100 billion% don't think Savannah or anything like has anything at all to do with it. But I do want to, she says something that's interesting here, and then we'll talk about it. Thank you, Nyla. Appreciate your idea. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate your support. Let's just hope this is over soon. Let's just hope this is over soon. It's about her learning about the news, right? Perhaps she felt it was years of Nancy was perfectly capable financially. Maybe she didn't want it. You mean the subscription? Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. Most people don't have the subscription. Or sometimes they just forget about it. Sometimes they don't, it's a trial and they forget about, for after the trial ends, they just don't renew it or whatever. That's totally normal. Okay, Lori. Thank you, baby. Okay, listen to just something right here.
Take me back to the day. It was, I guess, a normal weekend for you.
Yeah.
The weekend your mom
It's about the weekend. Listen to the words.
went missing. Tell me what you were doing and what happened.
Well, I had given Mike for Christmas a boys' trip to go play tennis. And so he had been gone for the weekend. So I took my kids actually to Carson's. So we had a beautiful, fun night together. And then I came home. And really, it just got home at the same time that Mike came home. We were just saying hi, putting down our stuff, and the kids were running around. And my sister called me, and
Okay. What time is this that she's saying? She said we had a fun weekend and we had just gotten home.
we had a beautiful, fun night together. And then I came home, and really, it just got home at the same time that Mike came home. We were just saying hi, putting down our stuff, and the kids were running around. And my sister called me, and I said, "Is everything okay?" And she said, "No." She said, "Mom's missing." And I said, "What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?" She said, "She's gone."
She said she'd gotten home from Carson's at night. Yeah. And there is a time difference as well. Yeah, that's what yeah. There's just some, I don't know. I don't know if it's just misspeaking or what, but it just feels, there's just a lot of, and again, I feel horrible for Savannah. My heart literally breaks for her.
went missing. Tell me what you were doing and what happened.
Well, Mike, I had given Mike for Christmas a boys' trip to go play tennis. And so he had been gone for the weekend. So I took my kids actually to Carson's. So we had a beautiful, fun night together. And then I came home. And really, it just got home at the same time that Mike came home. We were just saying hi, putting down our stuff, and the kids were running around. And my sister called me, and
She had a fun night, and they came home with the kids. Her husband came home, and her sister called. Right. And then Sheriff Nanos, he says that Saturday night, and let me see here if I can find it, maybe. Yeah, he says Saturday night. You just heard it. I played it just a minute ago. We had a fun night together. It could be. It could be. It could be, Crystal. That's what I'm saying. She may have not said it like very clearly. Nanos could be off. Again, I don't think it's weird, particularly hers, as much as I do Nanos, because he's a doofus. However, I do our friend Deception Detective, I call him DD, the big DD. He makes some really good points here today. Mods, I just dropped Deception Detective. Make sure you sub up to Deception Detective, also known as the big DD. He does statement analysis. And become a member over there if you can. He would appreciate your support, I'm sure. And he's got some really good members only videos as well. Okay. Oops. Here we go. Watch this. Let me find it here.
That it was somebody in your family. How did you weather that?
it's unbearable and it piles pain upon pain. There are no words. There are no words.
I actually agree with Savannah. There are no words to refute the speculation about her family, because if there were, she would have called it false or defamatory, not irresponsible. Irresponsible is just a vague, manipulative word. And unfortunately for her, Sheriff Nanos, and anyone else who uses it without backing it up, I don't like being manipulated. So in today's video, let's break down Savannah's Bombshell Today Show interview and count all the other red flags to figure out what's actually going on. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis.
You know what concerns me is, and I just have to be real with you guys. I always tell you my opinion, and I'm just as confused as everyone else. But what bothers me is it feels like there's some gaslighting going on here. And I never want to tell my subscribers how they should feel or believe or think or anything. Like, a lot of creators are like that. But I don't want to be that person. I just give you my opinion. I present it to you. And that's that. What feels weird to me in this is all of the searches, the keeping the car the longest, the, you know, even them not Savannah being the only one that speaks out, taking evidence out of the home multiple times, the FBI and Pima County going to the neighbors' houses, checking their cameras, running over there one day, all that stuff. And seems like in my opinion, some inconsistencies. And then the sheriff says everyone is a suspect. And then after that, literally the next day, it feels like there's some pressure put on the sheriff's office. And it's, oh no, you guys should be ashamed of yourself. Right? After the news, after you are keeping the family's car longer than anybody, you're going in the home multiple times and doing all of these things. And the people are just reporting on it, right? They came out with a couple bags or whatever. That doesn't make them that they did anything here. It doesn't make anybody did anything. But like there's just like gaslighting by this sheriff. And like, Doofy, you don't get to say how someone should feel. You don't get to say that whenever you're doing these procedures and absolutely contradicting yourself with everything possible. So it feels like a lot of gaslighting, and I actually hate the word gaslighting, but that's exactly what it feels like. And so to me, it feels like there's some pressure being put on Nanos that no. Okay, listen to this.
This channel exposes lies and manipulation. So if that's your thing, hit subscribe. For early access to new videos, over 60 exclusive videos, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. I assume everyone watching is already familiar with the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case. This is my 13th video about it. So instead of recapping the investigation, I just want to quickly recap my opinion of Savannah before we start analyzing her interview. Ever since her very first video, Plea, I haven't thought that she was involved in her mother's abduction, but I couldn't say the same for either of her siblings. And the more I see of Savannah, the more I think she's actually in denial about that possibility, whether they're guilty.
And that's the thing too. I believe with all my entire heart that Savannah and Cameron are victims with every fiber of my being. And I hope that no one in the family, friends, whatever, has any part, any way to do with it. But whenever you have members of the family who was the last to be with them, the last to see the person, and statistically, overwhelmingly, it's likely someone she knows. Yeah.
Or not, which is why she's resorting to emotional manipulation to
and it feels like, people who are it feels like she's in denial. And I could understand that to an extent. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to think it's even possible.
Stem the speculation about them rather than just disproving it. But after seeing this new Today Show interview, I think even that opinion might be charitable. In other words, I think she might literally be covering for them as an accessory after the fact. And I know that might seem like a big leap, but just listen to this. Let's start watching.
The weekend your mom went missing. Tell me what you were doing and what happened.
Well, Mike, I had given Mike for Christmas a boys trip to go play tennis. And so he had been gone for the weekend. So I took my kids actually to Carson's. So we had a beautiful, fun night together. And then I came home, and really it just got home at the same time that Mike came home. We were just saying hi, putting down our stuff, and the kids were running around. And my sister called me, and I said, "Is everything okay?" And she said, "No." She said, "Mom's missing." And I said, "What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?" She said, "She's gone." And she was in a panic. I was in a panic. I'm like, "Call 911.
Yeah.
She's like, "I did. We've called them. They're here." And we thought that she must have had like some kind of medical episode in the night, and that somehow, the paramedics had come because the back doors were propped open, and that didn't make any sense. We thought maybe they came and there was a stretcher and they took her out the back.
The ultimate sign of a hoaxer is knowledge beyond the facts, like how Annie and Tommaso somehow knew that Savannah didn't know where Nancy was. Remember, she didn't say they called her and asked her if Nancy was with her, or if she knew where Nancy was, or if she'd heard anything. They called her and informed her Nancy was gone, after calling 911 and even waiting for 911 to arrive. Now, is that proof that Annie and Tommaso are hoaxers? No. After all, in statement analysis, we need multiple signs of deception before we can make that conclusion. And this is just hearsay. After all, it's all according to Savannah. But the fact that she doesn't seem at all concerned or suspicious about their unfounded knowledge is what really concerns me. She's constantly telling the public how no detail is too small, yet glaringly suspicious stuff like this gets dismissed out of hand. Even worse, if you insist that it's important anyway, you get called cruel and irresponsible. Now, that could be explained by denial. As I said in the intro, Savannah doesn't want to believe that her beloved sister Annie and brother-in-law Tommaso could have done something wicked to her mother, so she chooses to ignore any evidence that might suggest it. And even
even to say something like, in my opinion, like, I understand, her being an attorney, like saying something to the effect of like, I get it. The public thinks that, the person who last sees, the victim, my mother, is many times the suspect. And I understand that they've went to my brother-in-law's and sister's house multiple times, and I get that. But I'm just telling you, in my opinion, I cannot see them doing such a thing. You know what I mean? And again, it feels like there's just a lot of denial there. You know what I mean? Donna, thank you so much. Really do appreciate you, my friend. Welcome to the Pearl family.
Hope people are paying attention to this.
Welcome to Clutch Them Pearls. Yeah, you're in the
So I was muted. Thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Y'all welcome Donna and Michelle. Thank you so very much, my friend. Savannah asked Senator Mark Kelly about nanos. Kelly told her the family was in good hands. Senator Kelly should have never did that. Yes. Yep. I think she called him before she did anybody, didn't she? Kelsey. Told you. Yeah, I think so. I think she called first.
even though it's misguided, it's totally normal and understandable. I've done multiple videos about the cognitive dissonance I think she and Sheriff Nanos are experiencing about the family. But here's the thing, some of the stuff Savannah says in this interview goes way beyond simply ignoring suspicions about the family. And a great example of it is coming up. So let's keep listening.
She said, "Mom's missing." And I said, "What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?" She said, "She's gone." And she was in a panic. I was in a panic. I'm like, "Call 911.
Yeah.
She's like, "I did. We've called them. They're here." And we thought,
you would, and one thing, you know, like I said, I would think before I went to my mother's house, allegedly it was like perhaps even an hour after she was called, that they went over to Nancy's house, I would have called my sister, my brother. Have you talked to mom? When's the last time you talked to mom? Might check the cameras, all of that. But
That
again, just like the church lady called and spoke to Annie.
she must have had like some kind of medical episode in the night, and that
I don't know.
somehow, the paramedics had come because the back doors were propped open, and that didn't make any sense. We thought maybe they came and there's a stretcher and they took her out the back, but her phone was there and her purse.
Kelsey, thank you so much for 1 year, my darling. Really, really do appreciate you, my lovies. You're very kind. Thank you for your continued support. So if, for instance, doesn't seem weird to me that Savannah had to ask Annie what was wrong. It was probably obvious in Annie's voice, and she's not going to blurt out, "Mom's missing." I think Ginger. What is the reason no one is searching for her? SG says, "We want answers. A body could possibly help give them evidence too." Yeah. More importantly, why the hell is Nanos not taking on the free help from people like United Cajun Navy? That's no cost to the taxpayers, 100% free, and they all have proven records. They have the technology. They can search 1,000 times better than law enforcement because that's what they specialize in. Law enforcement does a little bit of everything. Why not have him looking for her? I don't think Nanos is involved. I think he's a doofus, and I think he might be pressured in certain things, but I don't think Nanos is involved. No.
Was there and all her things, and it just didn't make any sense. So, Annie and Tommy had already called all the hospitals, but then I'm like, I'm going to call the hospital. So then I started calling the hospitals, and the police were there and talking to her at the same time. And it was just chaos and disbelief.
Within hours, Savannah was making the long journey home to Tucson.
You saw Annie and Cam when you got.
I don't, you could say that for this guy is a genius as well. If that's, people thinks it doesn't, people's got to be a genius to get by from like the FBI and Sheriff Doofy. It certainly doesn't with Sheriff Doofy. Look at him. But anyway, it has a lot to do with, in my opinion, I think we would be a lot further down the road if Sheriff Doofy, also known as Sheriff Nanos, would have given information in the first 3 weeks of the investigation and sent it all to Quantico, the FBI laboratory. I think we would be way further ahead. The first 48 to 72 hours is the most critical time in an investigation. That's when things are fresh, right? That is the beat of the investigation. And whenever you don't get the 72 hours back. You don't get it back. Cameras rewrite themselves, all kinds of stuff. So sometimes people get lucky as well.
Yeah.
To their house. Tell me about that moment.
Just disbelief and hugging each other.
Yeah.
And I think we were on the phone with the sheriff and trying to, really make clear from the very early moments, Annie and Tommy were saying this isn't This
It
isn't
does.
that case that you are used to where someone wanders off. She can't wander off. My mom,
This isn't that kind of investigation that you're used to. She can't wander off. And remember, Savannah said on a good day, she could walk to the mailbox. Most days she couldn't. Right? And I think I think that's a very common thing to say. Listen, this isn't like this person for whatever reason, right? Deb, thank you so much, my love. Appreciate you. I apologize. My company just left. Jumping in now. Love you guys. Sorry. Oh, you're good, babe. Thank you so much. Hope you had good company. Thank you so much, honey, for your support. Karen, 23 months, legendary status. Much love to you, my friend. Appreciate you very, very much. Sounds like she was trying to convey this is a serious situation. I agree with that. There's a lot of
she was in
different weird
tremendous
things
pain. Her back was very bad. She was trying to, on a good day, she could walk down to the mailbox and get the mail, but most days not. So there was no wander off. And the doors were propped open.
Yeah.
And there was blood on the front doorstep. And the Ring camera had been
I feel really
yanked
bad for
off.
Savannah.
And so we were saying, this is
Do something.
this is not
Feels like denial,
okay.
Yeah.
This isn't, something is very wrong here.
Yeah.
I agree. I actually think there's a lot of things wrong here. So let's go through them one by one. First of all, whether she's guilty or not, it is suspicious that Annie called the police and every hospital in town before it occurred to her to call her siblings. And even when she did call them, she was only calling them to inform them that their mother was gone. She had
Yes. So you called the hospitals before okay. Frankie, you're welcome to have your opinion. But you can't say how anyone should feel in here. You can feel your way, but you can't say anyone should feel any certain way. Thank you for being here. Deception detective is absolutely correct here, right? She called the hospitals before calling siblings. Usually would call siblings first or someone that is around, right? And another thing.
And even when she did call them, she was only calling them to inform them that their mother was gone. She had.
Are you going to say, you're not going to say you heard from mom? I'm telling you she is gone.
Zero curiosity if the mother was with them or if.
Right. Oh no, mom was, at her, at Auntie Anne's house.
They had heard anything.
Not Anne, that's a bad word. Not a bad word. That's a bad name because Anna is the daughter. Auntie Bertha's house.
Second of all, it's suspicious that Savannah doesn't find that suspicious. Just like knowledge beyond the facts, lack of curiosity is a sign of a hoaxer because a hoaxer already knows what happened. So feigning curiosity doesn't even occur to them in the first place. And if the truth is incriminating, they don't actually want to get to it, so they don't act as curious as they claim to be. Of course, if Savannah knows deep down that her sister is involved, but she's in denial about it, that also makes sense that she doesn't want to actually get to the truth. On that same note, it's also suspicious that the public Savannah has repeatedly and consistently asked for help is only just now getting vital clues about the crime scene. Savannah knew since day one that the back doors were propped open, yet we're only hearing about it now, 2 months later, in a network exclusive 2-part interview in between ad breaks. You'd think if she actually wanted the best chances possible of getting her mother home alive, she would have released that information right away in the most public forum possible. Finally, I really don't like how fast and loose Savannah is being with the facts. Remember, this interview is ostensibly to get help finding her missing mother, yet she called the doorbell camera a Ring camera. I thought it was a Nest camera. She also said that Nancy's phone, medicine, and everything was left behind. But how could she possibly know that? Was everything in Nancy's house inventoried? And was she not wearing anything when she was taken out? I get that it's an expression and that people misspeak about brands, but still, if the point of this interview is to get accurate information out there to find her mother, I would have expected her to be more meticulous. And the thing is, I don't think that's the top priority. I think the top priority of this interview is actually to run cover for her family. We've already heard Savannah talk about how thorough Annie and Tommaso were in their investigation for where Nancy was as soon as they realized she was missing, which of course backfired because it just makes them look more suspicious. Now it's time for her to sing her brother's praises. And listen to this, because it backfires even harder than her attempt to put a halo around Annie and Tommaso.
Did you guys talk about what possibly could have happened? Like, what could have happened? What went down? Did you?
I think my brother, I mean, my siblings are so amazing. My brother, you know, he spent his career in the military and worked in
I love that picture of
intelligence,
them.
and is a fighter pilot and is brilliant. And he saw very clearly right away what this was.
Yeah.
And even on the phone,
EDD.
when I called him, he knew.
He knew.
And he said, I think she's been kidnapped for ransom. And I said,
Yeah.
what? Well, why? What? And then, I mean, it sounds so like, how dumb could I be? But I didn't want to believe. I just said, do you think because of me? And he said, I'm sorry, sweetie, but yeah, maybe. But I knew that.
You did.
I hope not.
I don't think it's
I
because
mean,
of
we
you,
still
Savannah.
don't know.
Mhm.
I don't
Honestly,
think it's
we don't
because
know
of you
anything.
at all.
We don't know anything. So I don't know
Yeah.
that it's because she's my mom and somebody thought,
Mm.
oh, that girl, that lady has money, we can make a quick buck. I mean, that would make sense, but we don't know. But yeah, that's probably, which is too much to bear. To think that I brought this to her bedside, that it's because of me. And I just say, I'm so sorry, Mommy. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to my sister and my brother and my kids and my nephew and Tommy and my brother-in-law. I'm like, so sorry. I'm so sorry. If it is.
I think Savannah is the, like I say, like the matriarch now, if you will, of the family, because she's got the most reach and all of that. But I think she is taking on others' responsibilities as well, and defending, like I said, you don't really know someone as well as you think you do when you're not in their everyday life. You just don't. We've all got family out of state, all of us, or out of country, or wherever you are, and you talk to them often, but you don't know their day to day. You really don't know their day to day struggles, what their financial situations are, if they're having affairs or addictions or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think there could be stuff that she just may not know about as much, maybe. I don't know. I feel really bad for Savannah, but I think she is also she's got enough to carry, on her own, and she's holding too much for
Me, I'm
her
so
siblings.
sorry.
They need to
I'm
carry
so
their
sorry.
weight too.
Despite the extreme unlikelihood of a kidnap for ransom, Savannah's brother instantly knew that's what happened to Nancy, sight unseen, without a ransom note. He was even able to deduce the kidnapper's motive, at least enough to assure Savannah that
It
it
is
was
true.
indeed her fault. Normally, I'd say that's suspicious, but he's wrong, and I think Savannah is simply doing another manipulation tactic, appealing to authority, her brother's authority, in order to assure us that this was in fact a stranger kidnapping. As I've said since day one, and I don't care how brilliant someone is or how many credentials they have, this is not a kidnap for ransom. And the primary
1,000%.
reason I think that is there was no ransom demand. Remember, the ransom itself is the entire point of the highly risky crime of kidnapping someone from.
Yes, this is not. This was never a ransom. Goal was Nancy. The goal was Nancy. Just someone who's wanting money is going to do everything that they can to get that money, right? And they're going to send that letter quickly out to the family. They're going to be in touch with the family, not getting TMZ involved. You're not going to wait 4 days. You're going to take her medicine. You're going to make sure Nancy is quite comfortable, right? Just a little. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Karen. Appreciate you gifting 5 pearl necklaces. Really do appreciate that, my love. If you received one of those, make sure you give our gal, Miss Karen, a big thank you. Thank you so much, my friend. You are always very kind to me. I appreciate that. Transport her to vacant house, not by car. Her there, I don't know what you mean by that, my dear. I apologize. I imagine Savannah is in a fog from stress, trauma, lack of sleep. I think she is being quitted into believing certain family members. Yeah, I agree.
Ransom. It's not the sort of thing a kidnapper
You just
just
don't wanna-
leaves up to chance. So if there's any debate at all about a ransom demand's authenticity, it's probably fake. No, what really jumped out to me here was Savannah's survivor's guilt because she seems to be the only family member experiencing it. She feels guilty over the mere possibility that her fame might have contributed to her mother's demise. And she's preemptively apologizing to her mother, her brother, her sister Annie, and even Annie's husband Tommaso, who comes up a lot in this interview. I haven't seen any of them make similar apologies or concessions, even though that's a perfectly normal thing to do in this situation. After all, Tommaso and Annie are the ones who kept an 84-year-old woman who can barely walk to her mailbox out late at night and then dropped her off home all alone. They don't have any survivor's guilt about that, rational or irrational. Maybe they're all just cold, callous people except for Savannah. After all, I don't think I could tell a sibling of mine that my parents' kidnapping could have possibly been their fault, even if I thought it was true. Or maybe, and this is something we see all the time with hoaxers, they're too afraid to even make a small concession, even if it's something that people.
But I will say, I think it might be a little different in Savannah's brother. I mean, I understand it would be hard to tell your sister something like that, but I also understand the way Cameron's probably brain works because of his previous profession. I think he worked in intelligence, law enforcement, military as well. Parents of missing kids often blame themselves and second guess every decision. Hoaxers, however, can't risk admitting a single mistake leading to contradictions like Proudfoot's, "No, we don't regret being strict, even though it may have caused Sebastian to run away," quote, end quote. McCann's, "No, we don't regret leaving Madeline alone, even though it enabled her kidnap," quote, end quote. Ramsey, "No, we don't regret pageants, even though they made Jean Benet a target." Jen Soto, "No, I don't regret letting my boyfriend drive Madeline, even though she's now missing.
People normally do because they know they're already on thin ice. Kind of like how Kate and Jerry McCann always defend leaving their kids alone in the hotel room in Playa de Luge, even though that directly led to Madeleine's quote-unquote kidnapping. Or how John Ramsey supposedly thinks a deranged person who's attracted to children kidnapped his daughter John Bonet, yet always defends putting her into pageants. He has zero sort of survivor's guilt or remorse about that, since that's probably where such a deranged killer would have discovered her in the first place. At this point of the interview, I'm still willing to give Savannah the benefit of the doubt and say she's in denial.
I don't
But there's
at
a
all,
thin
Deb.
line between
No,
lying
I
to
don't.
yourself and actually lying to the public, whether it's through commission or omission. And I think she's getting very close to that line. And later in this interview, I think there's some examples where she actually does cross it.
If it is me, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom.
In the initial days, you and your sister and brother sat together. In all the despair, you sat and managed to think of words to say. How were you able to do that in that moment?
Well, my siblings are amazing. And we are a unit. And I talked about how brilliant my brother is, but my sister is equally brilliant and also has special powers of intuition and faith and language and depth and heart. And I feel like we came together with all these beautiful gifts that came from our mom and dad and from God. And somehow together we did our best to come up with the words to say. And I haven't posted one thing or said one thing that the three of us haven't decided together. It is surreal. It's how is it possible that we are having to make a video speaking to a kidnapper who
Hey.
took an 84
LM, you just emailed me. I just emailed you back twice. If you would look at that real quick.
year old woman in the dead of night in her pajamas with no shoes, without her medicine. This little person. And to beg for mercy.
In the days that followed, multiple notes demanding payment were sent to various media outlets.
I agree with that. I think there is either a lot of overcompensating here or Savannah is. I think she's. It's just really. I think sometimes people are just incapable of when you're in the storm, so to speak. You're just incapable. Some people, particularly, are incapable of just seeing that. Yeah, they were the last ones to see. Like they've been going in and out of their home, keeping their cars longer than anybody. Neighbor, all kinds of stuff. Just all kinds of stuff. Special powers is odd. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. She's I don't know.
The ransom notes or ransom requests came. Did you believe those to be real?
There are a lot of different notes, I think, that came. And I think most of them, it's my understanding, are not real. And I didn't see them. But, you know, a person that would send a fake ransom note really has to look deeply at themselves.
Yeah.
To a family in pain. But I believe the two notes that we received, that we responded to, I tend to believe those are real.
Really?
If you're not aware, I put
They do believe that those two notes are real. I believe they are real. I believe maybe one or two are real, but I don't think they are technically ransom notes. I think they are a way to distract, in my opinion. Didn't she say she didn't see the notes? No, the family did see some of the notes, from what I understand. Right.
Lies into three buckets. There's lies of commission when someone fabricates something whole cloth. There's lies of omission when someone leaves out key details. And finally, there's the most sophisticated type of lie, information treatment. That's when someone tells the literal truth, but in a misleading way. This can be done by juxtaposition, by putting one thing next to another thing and implying that there's some sort of relationship between them. Selective word use, imagery, the ways you can do this are endless, and that's why it's so nefarious. Here, Savannah talked about Nancy being taken out of the house without shoes, but if the video we've seen of the kidnapper is the only available video, there's no way for her to know that, unless of course they inventoried all of her shoes before and after she was kidnapped. But even that
Right.
wouldn't allow us to say she was shoeless, because the kidnapper could have brought some sort of outfit or clothing that he wanted her to wear. I can't say for sure because I don't know what happened, which makes me wonder how Savannah and the rest of her family are able to make such categorical declarations. She didn't have shoes, the person towered over her in her bed, she was kidnapped for ransom before any of the ransom demands, whether they're real or not, were received, and so on, even down to the very first calls Annie made to Savannah informing her that their mother was gone without even asking if Savannah knew about it. And on the
Yes. Dee Dee makes a lot of very valid points there. Guys, make sure you sub up to our friend Deception Detective. Mods are dropping that link in chat, and I'm dropping that as well. I'm going to put that link in the description. Okay. It's in the description as well for the replay crew. Make sure you go over there and sub up and become a member of his good. Thank you for subbing. You'll be very pleased. Consider becoming a member over there and giving him your support if you can. You're able to. One second. Is the online church on Saturday afternoon or evenings? I don't know if they have a Saturday service. I can't remember. Someone just messaged me that. All right. Give me 1 second. I need to pull something up because someone's asking me about something.
Around us. So as you enter off of the street into that brush, you can't see much further than a few feet in front of you with everything that's around you. That's a challenge for these search and rescue teams that are out here. But it's interesting to note that we're told the detectives that are on this case are the homicide investigators, but this is a missing persons case.
This was February 2nd.
The Pima County Sheriff's Department helicopter flies just above the palm trees of Nancy Guthrie's Tucson home. The mother of Today's Show anchor, Savannah Guthrie, didn't show up for church Sunday, so family called authorities. Inside her home, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano said there was evidence of a crime scene. Her phone, wallet, and keys were still inside the home, but she was missing.
Okay. 1 second again.
Called authorities. Inside her home, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano said there was evidence of a crime scene. Her phone, wallet, and keys were still inside the home, but she was missing. Monday morning, the search was paused.
And everything we've thrown at this. They're going to step aside. We'll call them out again if we need to do more searching. But right now, we don't see this as a search mission as much as we do a crime scene.
By Monday afternoon, though, the search picked back up with deputies.
Did you hear that right there? We don't see that this is a search mission more than it is a crime scene. That's interesting. That's interesting. You still gotta find her. I don't understand this man's rationale. I don't get it. I get it. There is a crime scene. But you're a fucking sheriff, dude. Do you not understand if Nancy is a victim of crime, she's part of that crime scene. Wherever she is, that's your secondary crime scene, sir. Or is this guy? I can't with this mofo, y'all. I can't. Like that is your secondary crime scene, dude. Has he not taken like? I mean, come on. I mean, no body, no crime. I mean, that's not necessarily always the thing, but like you want Nancy ASAP because the longer it ticks on, the more evidence that could be on her and or around her diminishes. God, he gives me a headache. He really does. Deb, thank you so much, babe. Justin, the material facts Savannah said in her interview, like how mom begged for mercy, how did she know possibly that 2 ransom notes made mention it? Oh, like, are you saying, like, is that what the ransom note said? I don't know. They've never released them. They've never released, what was it? Kate? I forget what they were sent some ransom notes and they said that they just gave it to, I think it was authorities and maybe the family. I don't know. It's really hard. That's hard to listen to. Yeah. Thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. Listen to him. Oh my God, I want to go through the roof with this guy.
We don't see this as a search mission as much as we do a crime scene.
By Monday afternoon, though, the search picked back up with deputies in backpacks entering the brushy area around the Catalina Foothills home with the helicopter circling above.
Shocking. I mean, shocking anywhere. That would be shocking.
Neighbors say overnight, deputies went door to door.
Talked to people, asked to see ring videos, gone through backyards, asked us if we've seen anything.
I think what needs to happen is for there to be some
This was the day after.
resolution, and I just hope that it's more favorable than it appears to be.
Guthrie's 84, has no cognitive issues and lives alone. Deputies are reviewing surveillance camera video at the home. She's considered missing.
She is very limited in her mobility, right? We know she didn't just walk out of there. That we know. There are other things at the scene that indicate there was she did not leave on her own.
Savannah Guthrie issued a statement saying, on behalf of our...
Hold on. Listen how he says that. He was going to say something else.
She did not leave on her own.
Hold on.
That
considered missing.
She is very limited in her mobility, right? We know she didn't just walk out of there. That we know. There are other things at the scene that indicate there was she did.
There was other things at the scene that she... Hold on.
Not leave on her own.
Savannah Guthrie
appears to be.
Guthrie's own. Deputies are reviewing surveillance camera video at the home. She's considered missing.
She is very limited in her mobility, right? We know she didn't just walk out of there. That we know. There are other things at the scene that indicate there was
other things at the scene that indicate
she did not.
You know what I wonder if he was going to say? Was there a struggle that indicate a struggle? That makes me wonder. What else could he have said? There was other things at the scene that could indicate... Yep. And then he stops himself. Signs of a struggle.
Viewing surveillance camera video at the home, she's considered missing.
She is very limited in her mobility, right? We know she didn't just walk out of there. That we know. There are other things at the scene that indicate there was she did not leave on her own.
Savannah Guthrie issued a statement saying, "On behalf of our family, I want to thank everyone for the thoughts, prayers, and messages of support."
I know, Ginger. Like, that had to have been so freaking scary. So scary.
Right now, our focus remains on the safe return of our dear mom.
Hey, Grandma Faith.
We wanted a little clarity on all of this.
Oh,
we reached back out again to the
bless her,
sheriff's
honey.
department on this and just asked them, was she abducted? And they told us that is something that they are investigating. And Andy, there's a ticking time clock on this for a lot of reasons. One of the key ones, though, is she's in desperate need of medication. The sheriff said if she doesn't receive her medication in 24 hours, it could be fatal.
Yeah, this is so very sad. And any parents who are getting kind of in that older age are concerned about this.
This is the next day after she
Because we're
went
not
missing.
exactly sure. They kind of recovered the wallet, a phone, keys, car at the house, so they don't know exactly where it was. I want to get into the location. You mentioned the Catalina foothills. For our national audience, how populated is it? They're looking at this Ring doorbell. Is that even a possibility?
It could be as they're going door to door looking at these things, but most of the homes in this neighborhood, they're set off from the street and there's a wall of brush and trees and cacti in front of it. So you probably wouldn't see much from your Ring doorbell of the street in many of the homes in this neighborhood. It's sort of like if you think of this neighborhood, a traditional home with your fenced in backyard, but between each one of those homes is basically a full property of brush in between each one. So although it's a neighborhood, cul-de-sac, streets, all of that, it's very spread out here.
All right, Steve Nielsen, thank you so much. What are you hearing from the neighbors? Has she been in this neighborhood a long time? Anything that stood out there?
I mean, Savannah grew up in this house. She literally grew up in this house. The whole family did.
Yeah, I talked with one neighbor who's lived here for about 7 years. He said she's lovely.
No proof of
He's
life,
seen her plenty
Ernie.
of times.
Absolutely.
Their dogs know each other, and they've greeted each.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. If I'm a kidnapper and I'm holding someone for ransom, and I'm really wanting that money, I'm sending them proof of life. Right? You want to send that picture pronto? You're going to leave a note at the home? You're not going to wait 4 days. You're just not.
Each other in that way, and there's just and I asked him too if he knew that his daughter or that her daughter is Savannah Guthrie. He said he had no idea. She never, she didn't mention it like that. They just had a lovely relationship outside, so he didn't realize necessarily the high profile nature of this.
Yeah, we'll see what comes of it. Obviously, they're concerned about her well-being. They're searching for Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old, right now in the Tucson area.
I don't blame Savannah and them for not paying the ransom. I know I've seen a lot of people talk about that. I don't blame them for not paying the ransom. You just can't start paying for ransom whenever they're not showing, because they've already the perpetrator in the ransom already has the upper hand, right? They have your mother or the victim, and they've got to at least show you proof of life. They gotta give a little back.
Area. Steve, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. You're on live now.
Thanks, Andy.
All right, thank you so much. And this is usually a quiet neighborhood concerned with the well-being, the status of Nancy Guthrie, and we did from earlier today.
It doesn't bother me. I've had the same thing. I grew up in the Brentwood area of Los Angeles, and we went through the whole O.J. Simpson murder.
Yeah.
So this is somewhat similar.
Yeah. Had you ever seen her before in the neighborhood? How far do you live from here?
No, we had no idea that she actually resided here. We just got a call from Savannah Guthrie, our neighbor, and that was yesterday. And my husband went through the entire property to see if we could see anything. I just hope that.
When you think of an 24-year-old woman potentially be missing for over 24 hours. Is that concerning to you at all?
It seems fairly typical, but that mostly happens in South Tucson, not up here in the foothills estates. No, I'm not,
Okay, we're gonna go to something else right here that I want to show you. Here we go. We're gonna go to the interview room. I've got something I want to comment on. Oops, right here. We didn't get to finish that part last night. It's very, very interesting. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the interview room with Chris McDonough and Karen. Chris is former semi-retired, I say, homicide detective. He works for the Cold Case Foundation. And Karen is a reporter, was a reporter in Southern California. Okay.
Long time ago. So I've just got to sit and look at this interview and go, look at it for what it is. It's to improve ratings for NBC.
Let me find it.
You go, John.
In my opinion,
One
her fault. There's a number of things going on. John, to your point, absolutely, NBC is trying to get ratings from this. Let's not.
One second.
I mean, it is heartbreaking.
And no one took better care of my mom than my sister and brother-in-law. And no one protected my mom more than my brother.
I'm just curious then why the Adult Protective Service business card is on the front door.
Great question.
You know, and I've made this point before, and I agree. A lot of people have spoken about this card, that this adult protection card. Why is it on the door after Nancy went missing? You know, a lot of times we are thinking just what happens at the crime scene or even afterwards. But most of the time, almost always, actually, what leads up to the person disappearing or the crime against the person has more to do with it all than the actual crime scene and what happened afterwards. Was there someone taking advantage of Mrs. Guthrie? Right? Let's say, for instance, someone, a neighbor, for instance, this is just not a fact, but just a conversation piece. Let's say that a neighbor was taking advantage of Mrs. Guthrie. We'll say a guy in his 30s or whatever. And she kept giving him money. But she didn't. It's kind of hard many times for old people to say no. They're more vulnerable in different aspects, right? But someone found out that she was giving this neighbor money. And they said they're going to call Adult Protective Services if, like, for instance, you don't stop taking money from her, or mom, if you don't stop giving him money or whatever. And they let someone else, like Adult Protective Services, intervene. Could be. Don't know. But there's obviously... Oh, it had to be from a report. Absolutely, Trishy. 1000%. They respond to reports. It's just like CPS, but for adults, more or less. I don't know, but it's weird. And I think clearly if this guy right here. If this guy is at, going at the house around the 11th or whatever, then he was clearly planning something. And so what leads up to the disappearance is truly just as important, if not more important.
Question.
Well, the question is, when did it arrive? Did this occur post reporting to the sheriff's office? But yeah, that's another question that has been answered.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, and the burning question for me is, why was the Nest camera subscription never paid for? So there's no cloud storage.
and by the way, Mom, make sure you leave your doors out open at night because I know about it. You're 84 years old.
That's a good point. Now, the subscription thing, again, you always want to have a subscription. It's really affordable overall. But the thing about it is like, I mean, if you know your mom is keeping the door unlocked, you would really want to tell her, Mom, you need to lock those doors as well.
You should leave your doors open.
Living alone.
And that way I can tell the police later on.
And that's a little weird. It is a little weird, right?
Hey, Mom leaves the doors open all the time.
I think you're more likely, like most of us, especially when we're alone, like you double check the doors or whatever, you know what I mean? And you would think that an 84-year-old woman, regardless of being there so many years, it seems like usually people get more, like older people get nervous as they get older. I can't see her leaving her doors unlocked, but maybe she did. I don't know. I really don't. Oh my God, Karen, you did it again. Thank you so very much, my dear. You are so kind, Miss Karen. Thank you so much. Thank you, lovies. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, give our Karen a big, big thank you. Very sweet of you, Miss Karen. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you for being a member here on the Pearl family. I'll make sure you say thank you. And thank you, Miss Michelle. Really, really do appreciate that very much. Really do appreciate that. Thank you, love. Now, I think Annie told Savannah that Nancy was keeping her doors unlocked. I think Annie told Savannah that Nancy was keeping her doors unlocked. I don't know. There's reports that Nancy
that's taking care of your 84-year-old mother. You ask me.
And we love her, and she is our shining light. She's our matriarch. She's all we have.
Savannah and her family stayed together in Arizona for weeks as the media coverage grew more intense.
We had to move houses many times because people came, and
it does seem like there's a lot of, crime in, that area. I mean, there's crime everywhere, right? But there's been a lot more.
Not
seems like
everyone is respectful, unfortunately. There was a night we had to leave in the dark in the desert, holding hands, me and my sister and brother and I, get into a car waiting for us because the people outside were closing in. So we found a place that was safe, and then then we couldn't really leave too much. So
Like, listen, I feel horrible for Savannah. I do. I do. But nobody should be going at their door or anything like that. But what does she mean that they were closing in? What does she mean that the media or whoever was going to close in on them? Right, Shannon. Right. That makes it. I don't know. I don't know.
like those days are a blur.
Yeah.
Crying, praying.
How did your family feel about the way the investigation was conducted?
Well, it's still going. Yeah. And
yeah,
Stop.
People have worked tirelessly.
So this is just my opinion, but Savannah deflected on that question, how what she thought of the investigation. And I think that was appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Savannah would be happy with this investigation. In my opinion, clearly, this is the only case that I've ever seen law enforcement and the media publicly criticize. You just don't see that because there's this unspoken rule that police don't criticize other police. Not in this case.
Appropriate at this point. Why go there if you're Savannah? I understand the question, and this is one of the only times that I thought Hoda did a good job, but why piss off the sheriff even more at this juncture of the investigation? There'll be plenty of time later to address any issue, and maybe she has no issue with how the investigation is going, but in my opinion, she just deflected that because she didn't want to really answer it truthfully. So just a point from this interview I wanted to make.
Okay.
Buddy agrees with me.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's finish that out right here.
Tirelessly. And we see that. But we need answers. We cannot be.
Yeah. She's telling, we cannot be without answers. And that's the hardest part. People, always say is just them not knowing. Michelle, thank you so much. And this is a brilliant comment. There wasn't a plan to sustain Nancy's wellness. A person that planned this wanted to hurt a certain person close or within the family. I agree with that 1,000%. 1,000%. The goal here was not to make sure Nancy was well, that Nancy was taken care of. If that was the goal, they would have taken her medicine, right? If the goal was to make sure she was okay, they wouldn't have been bleeding, right? Her doors wouldn't have been left open. The camera, the backlight wouldn't have been smashed. So they wanted to hurt Nancy because there was an issue, or they wanted to hurt someone around Nancy. Absolutely brilliant comment. Yes. 1,000%. Yeah, agree.
Be at peace without
Planning it. And again, if that was the case as well, and it wasn't to hurt Nancy, but to get money from the family, it would have been acted on, the ransom notes would have been acted on a lot sooner.
Knowing. And someone can do the right thing. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And our hearts are focused on that.
I think.
Okay, so that's part one. Hang on, let me get out of here and set this up. Get off of this. Okay, any thoughts while I'm setting up part two?
No, it's, you know, and I know everybody feels for Savannah and the family.
No, Stephanie, they reported that Sunday.
It's, you know, I'm as cold as John is, unfortunately, but you got to feel for, especially
Absolutely.
Savannah and what she's going through, and I'm sure Cameron and Annie, and you know, I don't know about Tommaso, but it's, you know, it's not tough for me to watch, but I know it's tough for some people to watch that. And
We've seen this too many times.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Savannah is trying to hold everybody up, and that makes me really sad for her.
yeah, I understand it's tough for your viewers to watch this. I'm going to confess that I watch it, and on one level, yes, I'm feeling sympathy for her. But I've been on the other side of that sofa too many times that at just some point I got
I
a
agree
callus on my
strongly.
soul. So it's yes, it's terrible that she's experiencing this, but welcome to planet Earth. I mean, this is what happens to people.
That's a good question. That's a good question, Meep. Does she usually play cards with Annie and Tommaso on Saturday? That would be something, if that was not in the routine, fairly common routine, that would be a big red flag for me. That would be okay, Trishy, I'll look at it, honey. Thank you. That would be a very big red flag for me, because out of all the days, she's at the home till nearly 10 o'clock, and the garage door opens 2 minutes, and Tommaso says she gets in the house and he backs out. And then just a few hours later, where's Nancy?
Yeah, it's the real world.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, I agree with you both.
Good
It's
question as
very
well,
difficult
SD.
to watch. It is gut wrenching,
Me too,
heart wrenching.
Shannon. Me too.
But we go back to, this case has not made sense and added. It didn't all add up from the beginning, and
Yes, Annie and Tommaso are the primary caregivers. Savannah says in the interview that they had concern. I'm paraphrasing. They had concerns for Nancy, and Nancy still wanted her independence, so they gave her that independence by still letting her, live alone and all that. But Tommaso and Annie was the caregiver.
I just, my journalism hat is always on. I've got a lot of questions. And, if this interview wasn't going to be a walk us through and tell us what you know about the case, which it really isn't. Basic questions I would have loved to heard her say, the interviewer here say, Savannah, are you going to be doing any searching for your mom? Are you
Hey, Trishy, where did you send that at? I don't have anything in my email or text.
going to be hiring people to search for your mom? It's again, to me, that's the piece of this that doesn't make sense. I still don't know why the sheriff stopped searching after the first 24 hours, especially if they knew it was a homicide. The family.
You just heard me play what the sheriff said. He said that this is not so much a search as it is a crime scene. His words.
Family's in
day
pain.
after.
They're broken. They want to find their mom, of course. Why isn't there a search going on? And I don't know if that's one of the questions that Savannah got, but it's a burning question for a lot of us.
Yeah, there's a lot of, again, those investigative gaps that are going, well, you know, if it's as cut and dry as, you know, nobody's involved in this that I know of in any way, shape, or form, then the sheriff should have said, look, I'm not just going to say they're cleared. I'm going to tell you why they're cleared. Okay. Not just they're cleared. Okay. The family is cleared. That's it. End of story. Okay. Well, then tell the public why you took their car, why you searched their house, you know, and the list just goes on. I'm not going to keep repeating the list. Just don't say something happened and then not tell the public why you've done it. Because now the public can't move on. They can't, because that shadow is only going to be there. And then you're going to get interviews like this that are going to defend the family that the sheriff says is cleared. Okay. It doesn't make any sense. John, take your hand and put it up by your,
and again, I say this every time, but like Sheriff Nano said the day before, nobody is cleared, not even the family. Felt like there was pressure. The next day, he said, the family's cleared. You should be ashamed of yourselves, right? Okay, fine. They're cleared. How did you come up with them being cleared? You also knocked 2 other doors down, 2 other families with search warrants. Why haven't you said they are cleared? Haven't heard him say that.
camera.
Say how they became cleared. They were seen on camera. Their cars pulled in their home, and then they was at home the entire night. And if that is so, you would think that they wouldn't have been searching in their home and taking out stuff 2 weeks after she went missing.
There you go.
It has to reset.
It has to
You're blurry.
reset. You're blurry. You got to go closer to the camera. And
No, that's actually what I look like, Chris.
I know.
I'm in a process of insect metamorphosis. And all right, let's see if I
Especially
can
when he
do it.
doesn't have his makeup on.
Yeah.
It should reset.
Actually, I'm
John.
too
I'll do
close
makeup.
to a nuclear waste dump.
and cut.
What you're seeing is just my body dissolving.
Oh my goodness.
All right, here
We're
we
at
go.
2.5 hours. Let's get Savannah's part 2 going here.
All right.
Okay.
In the present tense.
Yeah. I mean, she is present tense to me.
Do you feel her or have you heard her any moments?
Yeah, a little bit.
Tell me about your mommy. Just tell me about her.
My mom she's incredible. She's resolute and strong. Quiet.
You know something? I just thought of something as well. You know how I was talking about maybe someone for like a neighbor borrowed money or something like that. Maybe, again, this is just a something a theory. I'm not saying this happened by any stretch of imagination, but maybe Nancy was going to report some other elder being abused by their kid, and someone got word of that as well. Nancy was highly social with other people playing games and stuff like that. Could be something like that as well.
Quiet strength, quiet faith, but hard fought. She's funny,
That's the last thing we want to think, Shannon, but you're right.
a little
You're right.
Mischievous, I would say, in her humor.
So many, Lolo.
She's a noble creature. She does what's right. She walks in faith, but not
I agree, Deb.
a
I
fake,
agree.
pious, put on faith.
Thank
but
you, Sue.
a grounded, earthy, she fought for it faith.
When you posted Please Pray in the beginning, the ocean of love and prayers, did you feel that? Did you sense what was happening?
I do feel prayers, I do. I believe that. I think she would have been just amazed. Just truly amazed.
One of the images that stayed with me through all of this was you and Annie and Tommaso walking up and looking at the flowers and at the notes. As I saw that, I thought, oh, I wonder if Savannah's going inside. And what that must have felt like for you to go inside of your mom's, your childhood home, your mom's house.
My screen's so small? Shouldn't be
What do
so
you guys
small.
think about that when that happened?
I don't know.
He lives on the East Coast, Julie.
Am I missing something here?
Hold on, I missed the point.
Well,
Keep it going.
Well, wait a minute,
Unless
though.
you're
But,
making a point.
okay. First of all, she's carrying a card that she knows the world's going to read.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of that?
This just doesn't seem like a human conversation. I'm sorry, at times this almost lapses into something that, if not isn't scripted, then there was extensive conversation beforehand. Because
Absolutely.
none of the questions Hoda is asking surprise Savannah. So
Hold on, I gotta go back. I missed it. I don't understand what they mean. I was looking at chat.
Earthy, she fought for it faith.
When you posted Please Pray in the beginning, the ocean of love and prayers, did you feel that? Did you sense what was happening?
I do
Hey,
feel
Marianne,
prayers,
welcome.
I do. I believe that. I think she would have been just amazed. Just truly amazed.
One of the images that
Okay.
stayed with me through all of this was you and Annie and Tommaso walking up and looking at the flowers and at the notes. As I saw that, I thought, oh, I wonder if Savannah's going inside. And what that must have felt like for you to go inside of your mom's, your childhood home, your mom's house.
What do you guys think about that when that happened?
Do they mean the stepping outside there? I mean, this might sound a little harsh, and because you guys know, like, my heart really goes out to Savannah and Cameron, and I really heart goes out to Annie as well, and I just pray that they're not involved in any way, shape, or form. But this may sound a little harsh, but I think that was a photo op. I think it was a photo op, in my opinion. And it makes me wonder what the conversation was around that. You know what I mean? Like, is this more for certain people in the family to look like they're grieving. I mean, I do believe people are grieving. Don't get me wrong. But does this to make, you know, Tommaso, you know, holding his girls in there, you know, we are this strong family. I don't think it was for Savannah. I really don't. I think it was for others. I hate to say that, but that's how it feels.
I don't know.
Am I missing something here?
Maybe we can
Well,
keep
wait,
it going.
well, wait a minute,
Unless
though.
you're
But
making a point.
okay, first of all, she's carrying a card that she knows the world's going to read.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of that?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I get what you mean, Chris.
This just doesn't seem like a human conversation. I'm sorry, at times this almost lapses into something that, if not isn't scripted, then there was extensive conversation beforehand. Because
Absolutely.
none of the questions.
Well, yeah, I mean, John makes a very good point there. I'm sure that Nanny, Tommaso, and Annie, after have not been in front of the camera, particularly Tommaso and Annie, that they just didn't decide to walk out there with a card that was written already and put it out there, like Chris said, that the world was going to read. Right? That card was written for, you know, to give their respects, to put it out there, but that had, in my opinion, to be for a show. Because, you know, they've been, particularly Tommaso and Annie's been very, very quiet. And to me, I think, again, Savannah, in a sense, is, my opinion, is kind of being used right there. It's the way I feel. I feel how I feel. Whether she even maybe realizes it or not, because I mean, she's very protective of her sister and her brother-in-law and all that. I understand, but it's just weird.
Hoda is asking, surprise Savannah. So she's had ample time to think of this. The card itself, I don't draw too much significance from that because she lives in the world of American media. So she knows going in that it's going to be looked at.
Where's that, Deb?
Annie
I haven't
wrote
seen
the
that.
card.
Yeah, but Savannah's
Yeah.
calling the shots for this whole thing when she got there.
Yeah. Savannah's showing the world that the family is unified right there.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
all on the same page. They're all unified.
Yeah, in
Look
her
at
mind,
us.
in word and deed. Mhm.
Yep.
I agree.
Why is that necessary?
She's probably trying to combat the negative attention.
Again, why is that necessary?
Exactly.
Likely, this is not a person that's used to being challenged or in an environment where she isn't quasi-worshipped. So this would be a natural reaction on my guess. Look, I'm not.
I think it's, in my opinion, I don't even know if Savannah again realizes it, but I think it was to make Tommaso and Annie, particularly Tommaso, look better.
I'm not a psychologist. I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn. But what I can say is I grew up on the periphery of the entertainment industry. My sister and my brothers were in Hollywood. So it's not as if I haven't seen variations on this theme.
Okay.
Good point.
Yeah, I mean, This is the house that we grew up in. It's really the only house I've ever known and remember. We moved there when I was about
Look at
4,
that
I
video.
think.
How cute. Oh my
It's the
God.
house
So cute with
where
the little dresses
I
running
came
around the
home on a
pool.
Friday night at 16, and my mom and sister were on the couch praying and told me that my father had died. It's the house where all of our memories are, good and bad. So it's hallowed ground. My mom loved and treasured that house in good years and lean years. They were able to hold on to that house. That's my mom's safe haven. It's really hard to see that violated and the terror that she must have felt is unbearable. It's unbearable.
Tell me, while you were spending all this time in Tucson, your kids were home, what do they know?
Well, it's so hard with kids because, you want to protect them. Dale would write me all the time, Mama, any leads? Do you hear anything? Any hope? And I think that, we tried to talk to them and try to give them a little more certainty than we have, to let them grieve. And for my little nephew Olmo too, there's just a way in which this is even so much harder on Annie and Tommy and Olmo because they're there.
Yeah.
And they were there every day for my mom. They made it possible for her to stay.
Now, this is the second roll up into why we're going to convince you about mom being taken care of by sibling. I don't know. I mean, I just think this, for me, I don't know. It's just so weird.
It's not ringing true to you, correct?
It just does not fit. Somebody who is, why isn't this guy on national TV telling the world about, look, I feel as,
I agree with Chris right here. Like, why is Tommaso not coming out and speaking about your mother-in-law the last day you saw her, right? Put it to bed, right? We had a good time at, dinner. Nancy was laughing. The drinks were flowing. We were playing cards, talked about this or whatever, and then drove her home, and we had this conversation on the way home, and clicked the button, said, love you, she went in, and that was it, like, he's the one. He is the one that saw her last.
tore up as my.
I mean, and I understand, he doesn't have to. I understand that. I get it. He doesn't owe anybody anything. But if you want more of the questions to stop, you know what I mean? Answer the questions you can. Answer the questions you can. Talking at this point waters down a book deal. Mosaic. It. Hold on a second. Guys, I got to play something. I'll be right back.
Sister-in-law who is blaming herself for what's taken place. I can't stand to see my sister-in-law, or maybe that's going to be for the next episode. I don't know yet, but it seems like this is just like so scripted. And, okay, cut. What we need now is we need to walk down the hall or walk down the driveway. You got the card? Yeah. Okay, great. The media is going to pick up on that. They're going to spread it around the world, and they're going to see that you're being sincere. Okay, what I need from you now is you got to really lay it on so people can hear it. Okay, lay it on when you're out there putting the flowers down and everything, so everybody can hear it. Everybody can know what's going on. Okay. Okay, are we ready? Yeah. Okay, let's go. Oh, you got the flowers? Yeah. Okay, let's move. Okay. Action. And they come down, everybody turns around, goes back in, and Huda goes, you know what stuck with me? You know what? The moment you guys came down the driveway together. Okay. Well,
In the house we grew up in that she loves so much. I think she always stayed in that house because I think.
are they going to sell the house? Do you think?
At some point, probably, but we don't know yet.
She
Yeah.
still felt my father there. All our memories. Let her have her space. And it's just a way in which this is just even more excruciating for them and all that they've been through.
I had to run downstairs a minute. I have the memory of a goldfish, but I have the nose of I can smell everything like a mile away. I think I have a dog's nose or something. Sorry, I just ran downstairs. I ran back up. And I smelled something burning. And I'm like running around my house like a crazy person just now. But I guess it's something burning outside or something like that. I was like, okay, making sure everything is okay. Same Justin, I call it an Irish nose. Like it scares me. Like whenever I smell something burning and stuff, like I'm a little bit of a psycho. I have 2 fire extinguishers on each floor. I have one for just like a regular fire extinguisher, and then I have one for like a electrical fire or something like that. Whew. Sorry. Okay, I'm back.
I know it was a hard decision for you, and I know you told me about this, was coming back here, leaving Arizona to come back.
Paranoid.
Why was that so difficult, that choice?
I looked out the window of the airplane and just thought, where are you? Yeah. That desert, that beautiful desert that she loves. Where are you?
Oh yeah, Trishy, I talked about that earlier. Thank you,
My mom taught me a lot about grief. Our family knows grief. My father passed when I was 16 years old. He was only 49. It was a shock. And I remember my mom saying in those early days when Daddy died, like, you have to get up and decide and do. Just
I love that.
decide and do.
I love. I thought that was because we've all been there in life. where you're like, at times when whatever in life happens, you just freaking, at the moment, you just really don't want to go on. Whether it's losing, a, a family member, a spouse, whatever. And she says, decide and do. And that is, I love that. That's really powerful that Savannah is speaking about there. But with Savannah, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, whether she is, uh, being manipulated, uh, by others, or, even, that it's got to be anyone else other than.
And I'd read that in a book that meant a lot to her and her grief. And so I always remember that. So I'm trying to decide and do. Just get up and decide and do every day. I've felt terrible grief, and I felt unfathomable love and comfort. The goodness and kindness of God is remarkable, and in equal measure to my sorrow. She showed us how to survive the unimaginable. When she lost
Hoda's
my
so
dad,
cute.
she was 46 years old.
Look at
She
Nancy
had
there.
3 kids. She had never worked outside the home. She had to get up. She had to find a job. She had to mother 2 teenagers and 1 young adult just starting making his way into the world. She took care of her mother, her brother, who had Down syndrome. She invited to come live with us. She worked part-time to make.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. Obviously, and this is partially scripted. It's television. There's nothing 100% authentic on the television anymore. Reality TV is not real. It is all about, advertisers, and so they're probably going to ask Savannah, like, go ahead and talk about how you grew up, your family, and all that to keep it going. And that's just, I think that's why a lot of people nowadays go to YouTube and Facebook and all of that, because they just want something real. They just want to go into, um, like a live stream or whatever, and not get the 5-minute clip, and you just never know what the YouTubers or the Facebooker or whoever is going to say anymore. Because nothing is real in corporate America.
And it's kind of neat. She found a way, another job, a job she turned into a full-time job, a job she turned into a career. She had a second life
That's all it's about.
of purpose and meaning. She had a million friends. She stayed strong for us. She was resolute. She was real. She grieved. I remember moments in my childhood, in those days after my dad died. She was so strong. But some mornings, before dawn, when she thought we were still sleeping, I would hear her crying at my door. To not be alone in her grief. So she taught me to be strong, but she taught me to be true. For my faith is strong and resolute. But I, early on, felt that I heard for one of the very few times in my life, I did hear God speak to me. As I said to myself, I can handle anything, God. I can handle anything. I just can't handle not knowing. We can't handle not knowing.
Yeah.
I have to know. And I heard a voice. And it said, you do know where she is. She's with me. She's with me. So whether she is on this earth still, or whether she is in heaven, I know where she is. I know who she's with.
I mean, I don't know.
We need to know.
I mean, Savannah's faith is.
Cut to the couch.
Now, my question is, this is a hard thing to talk about because I feel bad about talking about it, but I have to be real with you guys. Like, I really just have to be real with you guys. Sometimes some people don't want to know the actual truth. If it could, especially if it would be like someone close to you. Sometimes it could be embarrassment that even though you're not part of it and you are a victim as everyone, you're a victim as well. But sometimes you don't want, how do I say it? You'll, you know, how like people will be like, for instance, like, your friends on drugs or something like that, and everyone's coming to you and they're like, your friend's on drugs, and you're like, no, 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 and all of that. And even though you're like, like you just kind of avoid it because you don't want to go there or whatever. And Savannah is a very smart woman. She's brilliant in a lot of ways. But I don't see how she can't at least wonder, based upon the facts that we do know of police taking their car, tearing it apart, keeping it longer than everyone, going in and out of the house multiple times, staying for hours at night, coming out with evidence bag, taking out a table, just on and on and on. And then just being real with you guys, I wonder, and for the goodness of God, I pray that it is not that's just even adds more tragedy to this if it would be someone very close to that family, if you know what I mean. But how like she's such a star, essentially, right? Like she's the highest anchor in the land, like one of the highest anchors in the land, if you will. And how that could affect the way, even unfortunately, people could look at her. You know what I mean? Every family has trouble. Nobody's life is perfect. All of that, but people with that status, they have to keep everything like, on the up and up. I don't know, but I know Savannah's very intelligent. And she's an attorney.
That was the most honest and
I don't know how to say it either,
picture
Shannon, 'cause
of
it's very
Nancy that
uncomfortable,
we've
but it's just the truth.
gotten from the family in 52 days. So I'm really glad that she shared that,
I understand,
because
Crystal.
you get a much fuller picture, not much, I mean, a little bit more. For me as the listener, when it's about Nancy, I want to know. That's why we're here. That's why people are following this case. Who was she? Well, here she was a widow. She had to finish raising her kids. She had to reinvent herself.
Yes, cognitive dissonance is protecting her from what could be an absolutely horrific truth. That's the way to say it, Sint. Thank you so much. She doesn't want to lose her mom and her sister all at once. And thank you for saying it that way, Sint. You nailed it on the head right there. And not only that, like you'll see victims of crime. For instance, I was watching this, it was on 60 Minutes Australia. This guy who unalived his wife and was convicted in prison and all of that. And his daughter, I mean, this guy was just caught in every direction. And the child, she stood up for her father because, again, her father's in jail. She's already lost her mother. Sometimes it could be too painful to lose more. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not saying that happened, but it does happen every day.
And she taught her kids some great life lessons. When it goes back,
Well, yes, Savannah is very well understands everything, but she doesn't want to lose her career if family is involved. I mean, I don't think it would. I hope it would never lose her career or anything like that. But sometimes, like if you're a psychologist, you don't always deal with even the best relationships in your life. You don't always practice what you preach. It's different when you're in the situation as well.
back to the other people, that's when it goes back to kind of feeling a little staged, in my opinion. Not that the information isn't accurate, but just how it's presented.
And I think, and that's a very good point. Saturn's lady, she is still in shock. I think, and that's true. I think that's extremely fair. I think there's been so much to process for her that it may take time. You know what I mean? But after, doing like an interview like this, she would, and we all, every single one of us, as new information comes in, as we understand things differently, we are constantly evolving. Every one of us, our opinions don't stay the same on anything. It's always evolving. Life is always evolving. It's always changing. It's always adjusting. And so is our opinions and how we understand things. We're doing the best with what we have. We're all doing the best, usually, with the knowledge and wisdom and understanding that we have right now.
John, to your earlier point.
And the thing is this, okay, I'll give you a warning of it now that I'm about to sound heartless again. Maybe the reason why this doesn't have a devastating emotional impact on me is there isn't a day of the week that there isn't a family somewhere in this country that's experiencing the loss of a loved one from violent crime. And they don't sit on a couch opposite Hoda to express their horror, their sadness, their anger, their grief over the loss of a loved one. And we have countless times listened to people tell us this stuff. Her experience isn't unique. By virtue of the fact that she works for NBC and she's a television personality, does not make her grief any more powerful.
And that's true. If you've lived, you've grieved, right? If you've lived, you've struggled. If you've lived, it hasn't been easy. It doesn't matter if you are a billionaire or on the street. It is just different. It is just different. But no matter if you're the billionaire or on the street, we all have loss. We all have illness. We all end up sick. Our loved ones end up sick, and we all die. It's not unique. It happens to all of us. He's right. He's right.
Or meaningful than that affected you, Chris, or affected me. And I think we focus on this, and it seems to be a natural component of our media-driven society right now. But there's somebody right now, somewhere in this country, that's receiving news that a loved one has been killed. Why is that any less meaningful than what's happened to her?
And I'm going to say this for my friend Chris and Karen here in this podcast. They're very humble people, and they have experienced grief that most has never experienced, and I hope never experience. They have lost a child. It is the natural order of things to lose a parent. It's the natural order of things to lose a spouse or an aunt, an uncle, a friend. It is not the natural order of things to lose a child. They have lost a child. These two right here, and they show up still every day. So Chris and Karen knows grief, right? Again, it's not, and I'm sure John and the other gentleman here, everyone has experienced very similar.
Just to put it in perspective, I'm not suggesting that this isn't a horrible event. I'm not suggesting that Nancy should be overlooked or her what has happened or be diminished. But let's put it into perspective.
Michelle, I'm sorry, I didn't see that earlier. Justin, what did the dog pass away from? I don't know. I think the dog died in like December, something like that. Which, elderly people, dogs or pets, keep them a lot of company.
If it's happening all over the world.
I agree. Bob?
Yeah, I agree. It's scripted, completely scripted. I give Savannah her due. She's grieving. I think that's genuine to a
Yep.
point.
Yep.
But the way NBC and the Today Show is doing this, I think, is disgraceful, to be honest with you. But that's just me. I mean, I get the business world. I know it's the world we live in. I'm not naive at all, but it still makes it disgraceful, in my opinion.
Sherry, hey, darling.
Yeah, and how does it benefit Nancy?
There we have.
Well,
What's
it
the old
did.
Roman expression? Cui bono? Who benefits?
Well,
it doesn't benefit Nancy or Nancy's disappearance, but I will say I think it does. I think it can give context to people who don't know about this case. Well, not about the case, about Nancy, who may not know about Savannah, whatever. But here's a point that I've not heard anyone say. You know how, like, they were talking about Savannah, like, could this be because of me? And how they were talking about, like, Savannah and other, not just Savannah, anchors going to, like, their hometowns and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Does this help? Does this help if they are showing childhood videos, videos of her dad, videos of inside the house again? It seems like if that's what they wanted to stop, showing their personal lives, but they're continuing to kind of show the personal life. You get what I mean? So, like, she's going into very intimate details again. So I just don't, if the goal is to keep the anchors like where they grew up and all of this stuff, so it's not on there anymore, but they're continually going right back to that. And to me, it doesn't matter each way, but it's just a conversation that they have. You know, Savannah was just with her mom and her sister in October. I did a whole short about it at the restaurant and how she grew up and her college and all that. But here we are again.
Yeah, right. I mean, we look at some of the most recent cases, in today's world, and
yeah, and you can make that point, Cassie. They could be making it heartfelt for someone to maybe come forward or whatever, but I really don't buy that. I've heard people talk about that discussion and all that. However, these are criminals who took an 84-year-old woman out of her house in the dead of night and most probably unalived her. I think there's very few of us that probably think Nancy's alive at this point. And if $1.2 million doesn't send them to rat on this person, I don't think anything else is. What do you mean a family member?
one, the public's been told, don't you dare criticize the family. Don't do it. Don't do it. The sheriff has
Nobody should be told how to feel ever. You should.
come out and said, it's over. Leave him alone.
He said
Okay,
you should be
fine.
ashamed.
What,
Well, he
nobody's doing
chastised
it.
us all and told us we were cruel if we did that.
Right. And
Right.
which was the exact verbiage she utilized in that interview, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like, here, say this. Okay. And so then there's this, well, you know, she's a lawyer. Yeah. Okay, great. You know, and what does that mean? You know, I'm curious about her mother because she was in New York. I'm not, you know, I appreciate her without a doubt, but at the
I
same
agree
time,
with Kelsey.
I'm more curious as to why they impounded your sister's car. I wish Hoda would have said, can I ask you another question? Yeah. Why did they impound Annie's car?
But here's the thing, and Chris knows this, that would be too real. That would be too authentic for corporate America. That's why people don't watch the news anymore. That would be too authentic of a question. Right? Why did they take your car and keep it longer than any other person's? Why did they keep coming back to your home? Why did they take a folding table? Why were they in the garage? Why did they take bags out of evidence? Okay. That would just be a little too real. And that's the thing. If like the police's actions and what they say, or nanos rather, not the FBI, because the FBI don't say nothing, are two different things. And we're questioning why you're doing something, but you're saying, no, 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 no. No, no. You're bad. You're bad for thinking this, even though we're doing this over here, taking shit out and keeping the car longer than anybody. You're bad. Come on.
And hold it for 40 something days. What were they looking for? Well, I don't want to answer that. Why not? You're a lawyer. You'd want to know that, wouldn't you? Okay. And, you know, why did they send it to the shop to put it all back together?
Which infers how much did they take it apart?
Yeah. And what did they take out of the house? Your sister's house?
Thank you.
3 separate times.
Why did the FBI run over there that one day? 150 agents run over there all of a sudden, start scrambling, knocking on people's doors, going in their house, checking their backyards, looking at their cameras, going to those gas stations right there. 150 agents on the ground that day. Going in the campers over there, going in their backyards, going out past their yards into the desert, looking for what appeared they were looking for someone's remains, like Nancy's. Why are you looking over there if Nancy was brought home? Come on now, folks. Come on. Why are you looking in Tommaso and Annie's backyard if Nancy was taken out in the dead of night and they have nothing, nada, no nothing? And you wonder why people question.
in bags. What do you think they have? Well, we don't know much about the investigation, but I can tell you this. This is the house where, A, B, C, and D. Okay, but that wasn't your mom's house? No, well, no, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about my mom's house. We don't want to talk about my sister's house because it's cruel and inhumane to do that. To question seeing the police walk up and coming out of my sister's house with evidence.
But people can question the neighbors, right? People can question the neighbors' cameras and the neighbors themselves. And if a strange guy or a strange gal lives on the neighborhood, but they haven't had any search warrants on that neighborhood that we're aware of, like that, like tearing in their house and their vehicle.
Bags.
And then when you put it that way, it's ludicrous, really.
Wait, what?
When you put it that way, it seems ludicrous not to be asking the questions.
To Karen's point a few minutes ago, if Nanos had come out and if he wanted to play PIO, which obviously he did, at least in the beginning.
Well, that's another thing, right? Look over at Carlos and Luke. Don't look over here. I'm still not sure that Luke, I'm not either. I'm not either. But she didn't say it's, and again, I think Savannah is not involved in any way, shape, or form. And I think in a sense she's being used, in my opinion. But she didn't say don't question the other people that they knocked on the doors and took their vehicles. She didn't say it was cruel for them. Right? She didn't even mention them, actually. Absolutely. Absolutely.
He should have come out and walked us through as much as he possibly could without giving away investigative secrets, if you will. And then with respect to the family, because everybody was talking about the family, and it's, as we've said, it's because of the actions of his sheriff's deputies, his detectives, with respect to Annie and Tommaso. So he could have come out and explained a little bit more about that.
Exactly.
Explained a little bit more about what we were all seeing, what the entire world was seeing. And then if he truly believes that they are cleared, okay, that's fine. He came out and said it, but he provided no context. He provided no evidence. Within a 24-hour period, he was saying that everybody is still a suspect. And then 24 hours later, the family is cleared. And that's why this has created such a fervor. And
thank you.
It's another example of why the sheriff's behavior,
thank you,
in this case, is disruptive. And
thank you.
And this is where we're at. This is why we're all asking questions, and it's caused a lot of people not to broach the family issue. And I get that. I understand. Some people don't want to go there. That's fine. But the sheriff is causing this. Has caused this.
He absolutely has.
Not the family. It's not the hard-nosed reporters that are asking probative questions. It's the sheriff that's caused this.
Yeah.
Agree.
And if you think about, these are great comments too, by the way. If you think about the totality of this thing in terms of, this idea that also.
You're right, Sherry. We are not entitled to know, but they are also not entitled to say we should be ashamed for asking the questions that they are doing. You know what I mean?
Hey, we got $1 million up now. come and get it, but meet us at the post office. You can be anonymous. All right. Well, who came up with that one? Who's counseling them to say, hey, let's meet at the post office and hand off the $1 million? That's a good investigative idea.
Yeah. 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 Right up. Yeah. Exactly. At the post office. Right? No, I know, honey. I know you're not Jerry. I know. She didn't have kids with it. He went to a basketball game 3 days into the investigation. We were always driving around his little convertible, wearing his little short shorts, going to the gym, pumping it up.
Okay. Or is it, well, we just put $1 million up. Let's see what happens and see who rolls on each other. I still believe there's cognitive dissonance going here.
There is.
On Savannah's part too. I think she knows more and she just does not want to accept it or wrap her.
I agree with Chris, and that's what I've said all evening. That's exactly what I've said all evening. It's like you can't look. It's too painful, it's too hurtful, or you're just not willing to accept it yet. The questions that everyone's asking. Again, could be nothing. But the question
Mine around it.
Come
right
on now,
now.
man.
She can't accept the fact that the cops impounded her family's car. They searched her family's house. They interviewed all the neighbors around her. Why would you do that to my sister and my brother-in-law? And she can't accept the fact that they got a text message from some guy out of Hawthorne saying, did you get the Bitcoin yet? That was a question from that guy. Okay. And
yeah, what's his name? Derek and his dad, by the way. Very weird. Did you get the Bitcoin yet? That was sent, a text that was allegedly sent to Tommaso and Andy, and then a 9-second or 12-second call.
she can't accept the fact that there was this idea that there was a 9-second phone call into somebody in that family. She asked, well, who did he call? And they did, and they creative 101 writing did not say who it was. Why would you? I mean,
Tommaso or Annie got a call. No, just Tommaso or Annie. That's it. A text message and a 9-second call.
Because if you said in that affidavit, oh, by the way, it was also, the same people that got the text messages, now you've really opened up Pandora's box. I don't know. Am I missing something? Am I way off base, Karen? You've known me forever.
I don't think you're way off base. I would just add a couple questions to throw out there. Again, we go back to, regardless of what theory happened, Nancy Guthrie is still missing.
Very, very good question. Love yourself. Justin, how can they clear the family when they still had the car? Sister, that is a good point. I love your minds sometimes. I love y'all's minds. Very good point. How do you clear anybody when you still got their damn car? Boom. Boom. Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Well, let me rephrase that. In many of these missing and presumed deceased cases that we cover here on the channel, family members act differently than what we're seeing in this particular case. It's not a judgment. It's an observable fact. If your loved one is missing, most of the time you want to organize a search party of some effort, regardless of what man is doing, and you're out there pounding the pavement trying to find your missing loved one because you are broken up, you are grieving,
That is what the excuse is. That's not why they keep cars for that long when they're in the shop. That's it was taken for evidence, Sherry. It was literally taken as evidence. And if it's taken as evidence, and they're saying that it's in the shop and they're putting it back together, that's saying you took that car piece by piece. Why would you take a perfectly good running car apart piece by piece, which ended up frying something that took forever? How do you fry something when you're 30 some days? Listen, my car has been in the shop 2 weeks. I'm getting a new transmission put in my car. Right? Hopefully I'll have it back soon. A whole transmission, other than the motor, the transmission takes a minute, right? But they was driving it perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Driving it perfectly fine. It just doesn't make sense.
and you want to know answers.
And it gives you an outlet for your pent up energy.
Great point.
That you
Yes.
can go out and do something meaningful to search for the missing loved one.
Right. Yes, exactly. And so that has been a huge missing piece for me in this story. And there may be, as I've questioned before, here's a question. Did Sheriff Nanos tell the family, don't go out and search? We're working on this case.
You're so
No,
lucky.
I mean, I don't know. We don't know. But what is preventing the family
Can you change my
from
mic?
hiring people to go out and search if they're, not going to do it themselves?
Took them a week to order.
That piece is just a big question mark in this case. And I haven't ever heard that question asked of the family or even the sheriff.
Well, from what I understand, Sue makes a good point. There are computers inside new cars now. Who knows if there's a black box or a camera in Annie or Tomaso's car? Not sure though. I think theirs is like a 2009 or something like that, which wouldn't be. They don't really have the black boxes. I think it's 2015 and up that they have the black boxes. Yeah, I know. They've just there's just a lot of people ahead of me. You know how much it cost? A significant amount of money to get my transmission fixed. I was sick. Wanted to throw up.
So he won't respond to questions by reporters. So
3 years
there you
old.
go.
Well, if you could get a job with NBC, maybe.
3-year-old car.
Well, and
truck.
I love you. And yes, Derek has been brought back to Tucson, and he's on an ankle bracelet. In fact, I looked up his case today to see if there was any more documents in to learn a little bit more about him. But he was arraigned recently, and he was kicked out of the door on bond. Okay, and
But I guess there's going to be a trial at some point.
there's going to be a trial at some point, and as we get closer to it,
We're staying on it.
we will keep you informed because I think that is going to be a really fascinating scenario as it unfolds. But okay, What do you guys think in the chat? We really appreciate everybody being
Do
with
we
us.
have any questions?
No, that way I went through them,
Excellent.
on the way up, and don't misunderstand me. He got his phone back, according to Brian Enton. Yeah, the other.
It's a Yukon Denali. What kind of truck drives? A no warranty. Yeah, it's 3 years old. 3 years old. Of course, the warranty went out. Derek, Derek was going to school through the week and have the weekends off. Well, whoever did this, it seemed like that they were busy during the week. If the 11th and the this happened on a weekend as well. You know what I mean? Kelsey, start putting money in your swear jar, and I will too. If Kelsey had a swear jar, she would be a billionaire in 2 hours. Just saying. Black boxes start at 1994, but all cars 2014 have. I think it's like with the GPS and stuff. I mean, they all like cars have computers before like 2015 or something like that, but like the ones that they can like track turn by turn, doors opening and all that stuff. Me, what about you? Listen, I am a nun, Kelsey. I'm a nun. Okay? Don't judge me. Annie's Honda CRV has an infotainment system which keeps track of info inside the car, etc. I don't know. Mary sent me an email. Okay. Let me look here. I don't have it. Did you send me an email or a text? No, I don't have a text or an email. Neither one. The story reminds me of a bit of Suzanne Morphew case. Really? She was gone missing, and then the husband was suggesting, oh, yeah, Cosmic Barry Morphew, he's going back to trial again, by the way. Yes, you can call me Mr. Sister. That's what you call Mr. Sister. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Everyone judges. It's just humanity. Just the way we are. At the end of the show, please come back in comments and hype the video to help boost the algorithm. You're amazing. I see you. Yes, Justin and Josh can both be monks. Yes. OnStar. Well, OnStar is for just General Motors, but each kind of company has their own version of it. I want to know what they put in the car when they built it back. I don't know if they put anything else in it per se. But the thing about, like you just was talking about the Suzanne Morphew case, they had Barry's story, and he said he turned left, I think it was, when he left the driveway the morning he left for his job, and he had actually turned right, and they had him going certain places, but they never knew where he put Suzanne. They had some of the info, but the way that I understand it, whenever we'll just say the computers, they overwrite themselves, and they don't overwrite themselves evenly, if that makes sense. And so they had some of the places Barry was, but it had overwritten kind of like where he allegedly buried Suzanne and all that. I hear You cars are very expensive. I had to put in $4,000 for a turbo about 3 years ago. That's about what the transmission. It was more than that, but close. How come with so much money, kids did not install security alarm in the house? I don't know. Sometimes people just forget. Life happens. I don't know. Oh my God, Shannon. I'm so sorry, baby. So sorry. Justin Mary wants to know if you to read the email offline, not in chat. Okay, I will. I certainly will. Absolutely. But tell her she's got to send the email. I haven't got it yet, but I won't read it. Yeah. Also, strange Saturday night dinners, late night, getting home, then missing late Saturday night, early morning was the 11th on a Saturday also. Let me look at that. January 11th, that was on a Sunday. But hold on, let's think here. What time was it on the 11th that they saw someone? I don't know. Let me look at that. Hold on. That's a very interesting question because that could point in a direction. Let me get to the. Hold on. Watch this. Guys, if you're just joining us or you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up button or double tap that screen. Let me see here. Nancy Guthrie, January 11th. Okay. A neighbor of Nancy Guthrie says dogs woke him up in the middle of the night. 2 dates now under scrutiny. Behavior he described as unusual, including the night authorities believe she was abducted. We'll call it Jeff, who lives a few houses down from the Guthrie Catalina Foothill home, told Crime Stories with Nancy Grace that his dogs woke him up and wanted to be let out January 11th and again in the early morning hours of February 1st. So that's very interesting. Let me show you this. Hold on. January 2026 calendar. So you guys can see this. Because this matters what time it was. And you'll see what I mean. Because this can kind of give us a supporting argument to win this guy if he really works or not. So look at this. January 11th is on a Sunday, right? That's on a Sunday. However, if you go, the 10th after midnight, right? You go to bed Saturday night, and then after midnight, it's the 11th, right? And if this guy woke up, the dog woke him up at, we'll say 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, he went to bed the 10th, and it was after midnight, then it's still, even though it's not Saturday, but it's kind of technically Saturday, if you will. Because if it was like the 11th and he went to, let's say the guy went to bed the 11th, and his dog woke him up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, it's actually the 12th. So this tells me that, in my opinion, that this guy, this perpetrator, probably had to be at work or had something to do on the 12th. On the 12th. Just like the 31st. Right? It happened on a Saturday. It didn't happen. I mean, Nancy went to bed Saturday, but at 1:00 something in the morning, Sunday morning, something happens to her, right? So the person that did this had time to hide her, do whatever they wanted with her, and they still had technically all day Sunday, and they could have been at work on Monday. That's very interesting. Also, Glove was someone from a restaurant. They work late at the restaurant on Saturdays. Yeah. They did stay at a very expensive $1 million home, but I think that they did move. They did move from one location to this really nice home. We are 4 away from 1,000 thumbs up. Oh my God. That's amazing, guys. Thank you all so much. Worked at a restaurant. A lot of restaurants are closed on Mondays also. Really? They're closed on Mondays? Thank you so much, Stacy. Appreciate you. Exactly my point. Yeah. Yeah. You are failing, girl. You are failing. I think something isn't right with Nancy Guthrie's case. I agree. All right, guys. Let's have a chicken party. I love you all. You guys are amazing. Been here nearly 3.5 hours, and my bladder cannot take anymore. Are y'all ready to party like it's 2026?
And it
to
was
Mr. Proudfoot, to Mr. Proudfoot, to Mr. Proudfoot.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Proudfoot, what happened?
Oh my God, look at Chris. Is that Chris?
Get up off me. I said that's enough. Let my gut to the go. You act like you starving, Monquito. Now I said that's enough. You want to bite me? Huh? Okay. That's how I feel. Now get up off me. Got these people recording me act like I don't feed your ass. And look at your damn daddy just sitting there. You need to come get your damn daughter. She get this shit from you. Now let my damn titty go. You didn't eat. Let it go. Because at this rate, I'm not gonna care if Monkey Protective Services come get your ass. Now let them go. You didn't eat and you acting like you starving. Okay, we won't listen. Who is that? Oh, I thought I heard something. Now get your... Okay, let me just turn my ass around. Now, didn't I tell you to let my shit go? Now, I'm not about to keep playing with you in front of these people. I'm trying... Okay. Let me see who looking. Okay, hey.
The following is an actual video of Sheriff Nanos. Doofus.
Hello? Hello? I said don't disturb you, I'm cleaning a room!
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
The following is an actual video of me eating a little piece of fruit.
Let me see what's going on with this little piece of fruit, baby. Clear my throat. Got a good little ring to it, not tart at all, very sweet. Let me get on up here, baby. I don't need everybody in my mix. See, you don't need to see Big Mama eat her oranges. Go on back the camera up and stop playing with my time before I get active mode face.
The following is an actual picture of me putting my lipstick on.
Girl, how I look? Like a damn fool. No, them veneers don't make that look no better. Girl, bye.
Not possible because that area is not visible in the footage. My ass. As for the lights.
Oh. Suck it now. A bullshit? Oh. Suck it now.
They can shut their chicken tone, chicken bone, Google Chrome, no home flip phone, disown ice cream cone, garden gnome, student loan, full-blown Indiana Jones, overgrown Flintstone, X and Y chromosome, Fred Zone, Sylvester Stallone, AutoZone, professionally seen silver Patron, head the fuck up, okay?
You doing? Yes, ma'am. You're funny. But we gotta have a little bit of laughter after all of that. Mob Crew has it lit up. Yeah, that was so funny to me. I lost my mind when Mob Crew did that because he's very stoic, and usually pretty serious about it. And when he just said, because it's not possible, my ass, like that, I just thought that was so funny. Plus, Sheriff says they've known since day one. Good point. Good point. Charmin, good point. Very good point. Hey, Lori. Jen, how you doing? Ms. Mama, Susie Q. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Lori. Mob Crew's narc. Yes, YouTuber. 2 dozen roses. Hello, darling. All right. Yeah, Mob Crew's great. He's great. He's worked really hard on Sebastian's case with those videos and stuff. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really, really do appreciate you guys are absolutely amazing. Almost 4 hours here. My bladder can't take anymore. Thank you, guys. Much love to you all. And hopefully there's just an arrest really soon. I just want to get a call like, oh my God, there's been an arrest. Hopefully soon. Thank you all. Love you. Appreciate you very much. Each of you being here. Good night, everyone. God bless.